Well, we have finally made it, folks. Football is back, and we are excited to bring you another year of IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals presented by Radiant Credit Union. I am Jeff Cardozo, the All-American Shannon Snell, back for another year. And back is probably the key word because it's just exciting to have football back here in North Central Florida.
It feels good. This is like our umpteenth year doing this, and it feels good, Jeff. You smell the grass. Hear the hitting out here. I can't wait for some football here tonight.
Got GHS, a new coach, a new era for the Purple Hurricane against Belleview, so it should be a fun one tonight. So let's get right into it with our Sonny's Barbecue recipe for success. If GHS is going to get this thing going in the right fashion for a new coach, what do they got to do?
Yeah, we're talking Coach Pira and what he likes to do. He likes to build them up front, be nasty up front. That offensive line built them big, strong. They like to be physical and run the football. Expect a lot of that tonight. And create a buzz. Listen, this GHS team hasn't been the same for quite a few years now. Hopefully with a new coach in here, a new attitude, they come in and get some stuff done.
A new roster size, they've got 70 strong, so that should be something special. And then on the other side, Bellevue comes to town.
Yeah, youth movement. There's a lot of young kids on this thing. Not a lot of senior laden kids on this team, so expect to see a lot of young kids get a lot of burn tonight and keep the pace. GHS is going to want to score a lot of points, want to put the pedal to the metal. If you're Bellevue, you got to keep the pace, got to keep it going tonight.
Well, something we know about North Central Florida, there are athletes all over the place. A lot of dudes going D1, so give us a couple tonight that'll shine.
We're talking Tyler Piro, the coach's son. That after tonight, you won't know him as that. Middle linebacker, hard-hitting guy. Expect to see him in on a lot of tackles tonight. And Eli Nimick on the other side, a big-time playmaker, scored quite a few touchdowns last year. Expect a couple here tonight.
GHS, Bellevue. Kickoff is next here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, we welcome you back to Citizens Field tonight, opening night of high school football here in North Central Florida. All the teams have been through the summer workouts, got prep last week with a little preseason scrimmage, so to speak. But Shannon, it is real tonight, and it should be a fun one. You know, you look at GHS the last couple of years under Ian Scott, there certainly was progress, and he steps away, and now Pira, a guy that has a ton of success around the state, ton of knowledge. He's had a mindset to try to change, and he certainly came in and has done that.
Yeah, it's about instilling this level of confidence in what GHS used to be. Listen, back in the days when I was in high school, I'm not going to age myself here, Jeff, but back in the day, GHS was a state-ranked powerhouse, and, you know, it's been a while since they've been able to be, you know, exactly that. That times have changed a little bit, but, hey, here they are now under a coach, under Pira, that has really adapted to that tough mentality and see what they can do here this evening.
All right, well, before we get started, let's go down to the third man of our team. He is back and better than ever. What's up, Randy?
That's not saying much, Jeff, is it? Hey, guys, thank you very much. My 44th season. You know, normally we talk about a series history. Well, the last time these teams played, none of these kids were born. It was 20 years ago, 2006. In that game, Gainesville won by a count of 15-14. One rule change in high school football of note: no more head slapping by the defensive lineman to the offensive lineman. So I don't know what to say up there, but Jeff, if Shannon gets out of line, you got to find another way to take care of him. Upstairs to you guys. Good luck.
All right, Randy, really appreciate it. Well, you couldn't ask for better weather. Maybe a little cooler, but clear skies and sunny, and Shannon shouldn't have any rain issues, which has certainly been a problem here over the last week or so. It's been tough for teams to even practice to get ready this week.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been on and off and very tough to, for them to prepare. Obviously, the rain elements is always an important thing and always happens in the state of Florida. But, God decided to shine down on Citizens Field here tonight, and beautiful weather for a beautiful football game.
Well, it is time for our Raising Cane's kickoff. Whether you're tailgating the game with a group or watching from home, Raising Cane's is always a good call on a game day. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. All right, well, we love having high school football back, and ready to kick it off, Nolan Hansen, the sophomore from Belleview, as the Rattlers have lined up, and we are ready to go. Little squib onside kick, not going to go the 10 yards, so GHS going to have some nice field position to get things going. A little element of surprise there as Bellevue tried to do something different to get going.
I think they kind of showed their hand, and you could tell that they were kind of motioning, and some of the guys were lining up in that formation, kind of signaling what they were about to do. So GHS well prepared. First kickoff here of the season.
So here come the Purple Hurricanes. Calvin Comstock, the sophomore quarterback, got a little run last year. We'll see if that jump from year one to year two here at the varsity level pays off. 3 wide to get things going for GHS. And they'll give it to the tailback, and a nice run right up the gut. But on the first play, there is a yellow penalty flag.
There's our bingo, leading off the season with a penalty. And listen, this is what you're going to want. This is what you're going to see out of this Gainesville Purple Hurricane offense, is that they want to run the ball. They want to mash them, get physical up front.
Let's go, Boomay!
Well, the refs still sorting things out. Looked like a sideline warning. That is the flag, so nothing harmful there on the offense. It'll be a gain of about 3 to get things going. That gives us the opportunity for tonight's IBEW Local 1205 starting lineup. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, powering a brighter future. Running back, Javaris Gardner. 3 wide again for GHS. And there you see that GHS offense. And the key is going to be the offensive line. That center, Trayvon Richardson, really a dude that can push people around up front.
Absolutely. I expect to see the ball ran behind him, as you see right here.
And a heck of a run by Gardner. Breaking tackles, flips to the outside. He's at the 20, the 10, and folks, he is in the end zone. So right on cue, we talk about that offensive line pushing some people around. Gardner just has to make a few moves, and just like that, GHS is on the scoreboard.
God bless, Jeff. That gives me goosebumps just to see coming out this GHS offensive line getting nasty and running right behind center guard right off to the right side. You see Gardner, who's just a wiggly, really scat back kind of guy, get out to that outside, take it up that right sideline, and make reservations for 6.
Well, gotta love that if you're Ash Pira and that new Gainesville coaching staff. So in for the extra point, Tyon Johnson. And point no good. But GHS does get on the scoreboard. Just a couple of plays to go just over 50 yards, and just like that, a really nice start.
Well, that's got to feel good. That's got to feel really good if you're GHS. Listen, Jeff, it's no surprise. They did struggle a little bit on offense last year. And in comes Javaris Gardner taking it up that middle. You see him right there on that sideline, standing there, not even breathing hard in this 95-degree weather. Just took it up the right sideline. And this is the kind of offense you want to see out of GHS. You want to see physical, right? You want to open up some play action. You want to be able to do some stuff, as Osh Pira likes to do. Start the run to set up the pass, and you'll see that majority here tonight.
So time for another Raisin Cane's kickoff. Raisin Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Shadows encompassing about half of the field here at Citizens Field. And a nice looking Citizens Field as we get things going, and another penalty flag already. Looks like a couple of guys got a little giddy, and we're offsides.
And this is what you'll see early season, and we talk about this, year over years. That first couple of games, they had a scrimmage last week. It's that almost like a kickoff classic where they scrimmaged against another team. But in the same breath is that the lights are live. This is the first game that really counts during the season. You're going to see some penalties. You're going to see some guys get a little jumpy, a little giddy, ready to get after it. So penalties got to be limited. Those that can do it will have a better shot at winning this football game today.
And in that game last week, Gainesville with a 34-0 victory. So the offense was good. Defense obviously better with the shutout. And we'll see that defense here in just a moment as Bellevue has a couple of guys deep. And Tyon Johnson will put that right foot into it again. Everything goes good this time. And here comes Marquis Davis on the run back. Gets to about the 30-yard line and a couple of more, and that's where Bellevue will have their first offensive possession of the afternoon. So let's give you that starting lineup. IBEW Local 1205 brings you those starting lineups for Bellevue.
Yeah, you see numbers 14, Elijah Nemick, one of their biggest playmakers, had quite a few touchdowns last year. Get the ball in his hands, he makes good things happen. But really, the eyes turn to Gabe Caro, who is the quarterback of this offense. He's got to engineer some long drives to try to keep this GHS offense off the field.
He's 6'2", 200-pounder, just a sophomore. And he will lead this offense, take the shotgun snap. And right up the gut. He gets about a yard. And here's that defense. Again, a lot of youngsters on this defense for GHS, but highlighted right there in the middle by Coach Pira's son that we told you about at the beginning part of the play. And he is a guy that went to Oak Hall. Never really intended to come over and play for Dad, but I think a pretty unique opportunity to do that. Maybe some convincing at the dinner table to come over and say, hey, I need you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure Dad wasn't going to be able to attend the football game, seeing how he's here now. So, but great story, and great for him to come over, support his dad, and obviously be the anchor of this defense for the Purple Hurricane.
Big shift by Bellevue, and the run behind the strong side of that offensive line, but not much to show. Is nice job by that GHS defense as the play went out wide, and
yeah,
that is Pira right on cue in the middle of all of that, and now it's going to be 4th and about 4.
Yeah, nice job by Pira playing that inside out. A lot of times on a sweep outside run like that, you can over pursue if you're a defender. Pira kind of played that inside out, turned it back into him, and made a nice hit right there.
So it will force a punt. Back deep for Gainesville is Anthony Jenkins Jr., 5'11", 145-pound junior. As Bellevue runs Caden Smith on late. That punt about 26 yards, and GHS will take over at their own 34-yard line. Just 2 plays for a touchdown, and we'll see what they can do now in their second offensive possession. You're watching Friday Night Rivals presented by Radia Credit Union. Well, we are back. It went to commercial break. There was actually a flag on the field on the previous punt, so Bellevue had an opportunity to re-punt it. They did. It was not a good punt at all, but on the return by GHS, there was a fumble right on the edge of the sideline. Bellevue got it back, so now they will take over right around midfield. And a big blunder right there defensively as Tristan Ford got a little greedy and jumps offside. So a couple of negative plays here for GHS after they had the ball back.
Yeah, got to get back to focusing. You're going to see this out of Bellevue a little bit. This is a complete shift. All right, a heavy side formation was to the right. They shift their guys to the left. Did it during the first drive of the game. GHS wasn't disciplined there.
So we'll do it again. Here, the quarterback will hand it off. Inside handoff. Nice pursuit again on the outside, and a big tackle by Trayvon Richardson. We talked about him as the center on that offensive line, but dude can play some defense as well.
Yeah, Richardson really good, able to run down the line, pursuit, which you see out of a lot of these GHS defenders making tackles inside out.
And here's going back to the miscue there on the punt return. A little bobble, and then nice job by Elijah Nemec to just grab the ball before it goes out of bounds to give Bellevue the ball back.
Yeah, he doesn't pull that in immediately. Like, that ball probably rolls out of bounds, and it's GHS's ball. So nice recovery there by Nemec.
Davis now the quarterback. He'll hand it off, and nothing going for Torrey Turner. So, Shannon, there's been 5 runs so far for Bellevue, and they haven't gotten more than a couple of yards in any of them.
Yeah, you see these guys playing the point of attack really well, that GHS front 7. You see that was number 23 right there, Nehemiah Washington, coming off that right edge and kind of knifing through and making that tackle. So nice job by him. But you could tell GHS is really making a point to tackle these guys and get them on the ground.
4 wide now for Bellevue for the first time. And a quick pass to the outside. That one's tipped. And that's a nice job by Byron Jones, the senior DN there, just jumped up. We knew he couldn't get to the quarterback and played that perfectly.
Played it real perfectly. And listen, that ball, if it's not tipped, it's a complete nice little hook, like a little hook pattern right there. Quick little 5-yard shot. Able to get his hands up and knock it to the ground. Good play by GHS.
So 4th down on the GHS side of the field. Looks like Bellevue's going to go for it here.
Yeah, I feel like this is house money. I feel like if you're Bellevue, put your best play on forward. You got 4th down plays. And maybe even try to get a hard count here, 1 or 2. Try to get these at least an extra 5 yards.
Same formation as the last play. Ballesteros cuts across, they'll flip it out, and that will be a 1st down completion. Nice job right there. Good blocking as Marquis Davis able to get the 1st down on a gain of about 9.
Yeah, nice job motioning out and getting an extra blocker out there and just getting out to the wide receiver and letting him turn it up and get that extra 1st down. Nice play there by Bellevue.
Bellevue going quick. And a quarterback keeper again, not much showing through the right side.
And this is one thing you got to love if you're Bellevue, is trying to keep GHS on their heels with this no-huddle offense. If you're GHS, you're going to have to be disciplined. You know they're going to shift. You know they're going to do a couple of wacky things that's going to keep this defense a little bit out of their line, out of alignment. So playing your cues, making sure you're reading the right things if you're GHS, and just keep the foot on the gas if you're Bellevue.
Carr will get the shotgun snap, hand it off. Torrey Turner trying to get to the outside, now going the other way, and that is, again, great pursuit by that GHS defense. Neriah Washington didn't let him get to the edge, and that's going to be a big loss there on 2nd down.
Yeah, Washington's 2nd tackle for a loss here on the drive. And if you're Bellevue, it's like it feels like you're getting a little cute here, right? They were running the ball downhill. They were doing a couple things that felt good. I think their outside screen game is pretty decent as well. But it seems like GHS is doing a great job between the tackles of pushing the pocket and then stretching things out to the outside.
Yeah, great job again by Byron Jones, who had that deflection just a couple of plays ago. He's doing a really nice job there on that defensive end spot. Now he goes out into coverage, and they'll try to go deep, flag on the play, and that one is thrown out of bounds as a couple of GHS defenders were there all over the receiver.
Yeah, it looks like a flag on the play down here towards the near side of the field. And you kind of just threw that one up, obviously, just trying to get some of the yardage back, trying to make a big play, but two GHS defenders over there wasn't going to allow it.
looked like the offense was offside, so GHS will decline that.
Hey, Jeff, I think we've hit probably half of our bingo cards for the season in the first quarter.
A couple of things you rarely see. That's a good job by the GHS defense as they have forced now another punt.
But, you know, one of the good things that happened if you're Bellevue is that you've changed field position a little bit, right? Maybe a punt deeper into GHS territory and maybe force that offense, which had a kind of a short field on their first drive on that touchdown, to go a little bit longer and maybe force them into a mistake.
So Anthony Jenkins Jr. back deep again. And let's kick over to the sideline. Gets a really nice bounce inside the 5. They'll pick it up. And Jenkins at least able to get beyond the 10-yard line. So that's where GHS will take over now. Their second offensive possession when we come back on IBEW, local 12:05 Friday Night Rivals. Canes up 6-0 as we welcome you back to Citizens Field, the opener for tonight's high school season. And third member of our team, Randy Reinhardt, back down there doing his thing. It's time for a Tucker Chiropractic injury update. They are the best in quality care. Randy?
Jeff, Prince Wright not going to play in this contest tonight for Gainesville, number 26. He's got an ankle injury. He would contribute on the defensive side of things, but he's not playing tonight. And about Richardson playing at center, they do that for better opportunities for him to play on the college level. Back to you guys.
Well, Shannon, you know a lot about that, and I think, again, another great part of what you get now with this GHS coaching staff. Osh Pira has put a lot of guys at the collegiate level into the next level.
Yeah, he has. I mean, it's one of those things, especially up front. We talk about offensive line, and he's a guy that loves to build guys from inside out, meaning he loves to build them from the front to the back, meaning that's the offensive line. And if you're, Trayvon Richardson, hey, if you play both sides of the ball, yeah, it might be great as a defensive tackle, but you may make more money. You may be able to get to the next level as a center, which he's done a great job at tonight.
Calvin Comstock rolling out to his left, tries to throw across of his body, and fortunately for GHS, that ball not intercepted. Great pursuit there by Bellevue as a bunch of white jerseys all over him, and that could have been pretty disastrous.
Yeah, this is what you wanted if you were Bellevue, Jeff. You wanted to be able to force GHS to be a little bit closer to that goal line, right? That obviously you wanted to score on that last possession they had, but punted it deep. Put them close and makes them a little nervous, right? It changes up the game plan a little bit, and it can't really rip open everything that you want to, because you force a turnover here, you're basically giving up points.
So 3rd and 6 now for the Hurricanes. Comstock's got Gardner to his left. They'll hand it off to him, trying to get around that right side. He does. First down and much more.
Boy.
A nice little cutback move all the way to midfield, and Javaris Gardner is having a heck of a day, and we're not even through quarter number 1 yet.
Yeah, I mean, if that's going to be, that should be the game plan. Like, why would you go away from that? Like, Javaris Gardner going off a right tackle, making one guy miss, getting up there with really deceptive speed is what we've seen out of him. Once he gets going, I mean, it's going to be hard to stop him, but cuts up that right sideline, makes a guy miss on a one cut, and then almost takes the distance if it wasn't for number 8 right there, Marquis Davis, to kind of pull him down over on that sideline.
That's his second 40-plus yard run in this ball game already. High snap, they'll give it to him again. Why not? And just a couple. Some nice pursuit there on the other side by Bellevue.
Yeah, it feels like that, GHS is the strategy is if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Try to run off that offensive line, doing a good job of pushing, creating some lines, creating a new line of scrimmage, and Gardner's getting up there making some plays. But if you're Bellevue, really nice stop right there, and probably Gardner's the guy you have to key on here for the rest of this, at least this first quarter or first half.
Gardner's going to give away now to Keonis Perry, and he will get it. And in talking to Coach Pira earlier, Perry's a guy you really need to watch out for. Obviously, they've got a really good one in number 0, but 25 has really shined throughout the summer. He's worked really, really hard, and he's got a chance to be special to make it a two-headed monster.
Yeah, imagine having to try to deal with Gardner, right? And then you have Perry coming in, who's a change of pace back. And, every great team, running team, has a two-headed monster, has guys that can get it done when one guy goes out.
Couldn't get it done there as offensive line allowed a couple of white jerseys to get in there quickly. So what was 3rd and about 3 is going to turn into 4th and 5. And we'll see what GHS decides to do.
Yeah, this is a great adjustment by that Bellevue coaching staff. They're able to send some run blitzes, send some stuff, keying in on GHS's running game, because that's where they've had all their success here in this first quarter. So continue to do that and make GHS put that ball up in the air.
Perry will stay in the ball game at tailback. Go to the left side of the sophomore quarterback. They'll fake it to him. Quick little gut up the seams. That's caught. And breaking a tackle is Jaquan Wooden. And the senior, who's 6'2", 190 pounds, with a big, big play on 4th down.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, as soon as they do it, able to kind of a little bit of a change of pace, put that ball up in the air. See, Williams able to catch that ball right off a nice little throw right there, wide open right there, just kind of beats it, finds a little open seam, takes it up and gets really big yards.
Perry just found an opening right there, and an ankle tackle prevents GHS from getting in the end zone once again. But a first down play of about 15 yards there to make it 1st and goal.
Got to feel good if you're GHS going with the no huddle, but they're really got this Bellevue defense on their heels.
Perry will get the ball again, trying to cut back inside, finding some running room, pushing. Play will be whistled dead as he gets inside the 5-yard line. And here comes Javaris Gardner back into the ball game now for GHS.
Yeah, it wouldn't be really I'd be very shocked to see Gardner not touch this ball, at least on the next 2 carries, 2nd and 5 here. GHS, which has their run game, has gotten them in this position. Might as well go to the well and try to punch this ball into the end zone.
Comstock going under center now. He'll give it to Gardner. A little slide step to get to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by Bellevue, still holding up down here, still fighting. And GHS is going to make it a point, right? They want to establish dominance at the line of scrimmage. They want to establish that identity, and the best way you can do it is through their run game, which they've done this entire first quarter.
Samuel Warren Jr. also back there. That's number 10. 6'1", 215-pounder. He's a big dude. Fake it to him. A little roll to the right, and it's complete. Oh, but a big, big hit. And Nariah Washington drops it once he has gotten into the end zone. Really nice play there by Bellevue.
Yeah, great play by Bellevue, able to kind of snip that one out. Had the ball in his hands, but big hit right there kind of knocks it out. And if you're GHS right now, you're going for it, right? It's 3rd and 1. You're only for a 4th and goal on the 1-yard line. This is the time that you need to punch this thing in. You have to go. You have to experience what you've done throughout summer, what you guys have really worked for, and this is what's going to happen here. Run this ball in.
Gardner and Warren still back there. And they'll hand it to Warren, but he's going to fight and not get there. That is great pursuit there by Bellevue as number 52, Alex Barentine, the junior linebacker, got through there, and that is a huge stop there for the Rattlers.
Yeah, you saw number 5, Landon Kemp, on there as well. Guys just shot that gap. They knew what was happening. They knew GHS was going to run the football and made a nice goal line stand down there to prevent the touchdown.
So a couple of really nice defensive plays. And Bellevue's going to take back over with just over a minute left on the clock here in quarter number 1.
You know, when you just thought this game was going to go a different way, GHS was just running and doing whatever they wanted to do. All of a sudden, Bellevue stands up, comes up with the goal line stand, and now has a new lease on life. And now forces another errant offsides on GHS.
Yeah, that's a couple of times where GHS has just been too aggressive, not watching the football. They're actually watching the other team as opposed to that ball, and until that ball moves, Shannon, there's nothing you can do.
Sometimes, Jeff, this is what the heat and the no huddle can do. It forces you to get in this tired mindset, not thinking, hey, when I see a movement, I'm just going to jump off, and all of a sudden it's extra 5 yards.
They were trying to go deep, and that is almost a great catch by Marquis Davis. Looked like he had it for a second, and then when he hit the ground, unable to corral it in, but a really nice throw there by Caro.
Yeah, it would have been a hell of a catch. I mean, able to pull that in with one arm or one hand, that right hand, and just wasn't able to pull it all the way to the ground.
Second down and 5. From the 7.
So 2nd and 5. Caro will keep it himself. Initially wasn't able to handle the snap. Recovered nicely, but a couple of GHS defenders in there.
Looked like a little bit of a zone read there. The ball got fumbled, and here's the thing is when you're shotgun and you're running any kind of read play, if the ball is fumbled around, the ball's high, the center doesn't get it to the quarterback, it's going to throw off the timing of the play. Exactly what you saw there at Bellevue. Of course, really a no-gain play.
Well, there's 20 on the game clock, but just 15 on the play clock, so they're going to have to snap it or call timeout. And it looks like that was what has happened. So just a couple of seconds left on that first quarter clock. Well, Shannon still got a few seconds left on this first quarter clock, but you can see how GHS was able to get onto the scoreboard. Nice 46-yard run there by Gardner to get things going.
Yeah, able to get up that middle, get up to the right sideline, and that's how you wanted to start it if you were GHS, right? Establish some dominance at the line of scrimmage, off Big Ugly's pushing some guys around. Gardner making the most of it and making the most of that speed of his and getting that touchdown.
One of 2 40-plus yard runs in that first quarter, and then, of course, it was a huge stop by the Bellevue defense as GHS got it all the way to the 1 yard line, missed on 3rd down on a pass attempt, and then 4th down, unable to get in as well. So this could be a big stop, though, by that GHS defense. Don't let Bellevue get a first down and still get a pretty good field position coming back to start quarter number 2. That's our Farah and Farah scoring summary, sponsored by Farah and Farah Gainesville Injury Attorneys, proud supporters of our local student athletes. All right, 5 seconds left on this first quarter clock, and 4 wide for Bellevue. Quick little pass to the outside and is picked off, and that is going to be a pick 6. Marion Hubbard jumped the route, and the senior gets on into the end zone for the touchdown.
It was a beautiful play. He's playing cover 2. He was squatting on that. And if you're Bellevue, hey, it was a good thought in mind, right? Good throw out there, but all of a sudden, if you see that corner squatting, if you're inaccurate, if you're off by even just a little bit, you see exactly what happens. He squatted on that, jumped the route. Great hands right there, great ball skills, able to pick it off, and not only that, take it into the end zone for a big 6 points.
Oh, Radiant Credit Union touchdown, define your financial future. And that play was the end of the first quarter, so the extra point will happen on the other side. So Bellevue gets a big stop on defense, but then a big play on defense by GHS gets the Hurricanes into the end zone.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable play right there, but we'll see what goes on here in the second quarter.
Well, it looks like Gainesville actually called a timeout, so it will not be the end of the quarter. Bellevue thinks it's the end of the quarter. A lot of confusion. I think both teams trying to sort things out here in game 1. So Let's go back down to Randy. And Randy, it looks like GHS flying around all over the place, doing some good things here in quarter number one.
Indeed they are. They just had to dent the goal line, and finally they did. James McCormick is your referee tonight. He signaled timeout for Gainesville before that extra point. 75 years of age, and he has quite a story officiating. And your electronic clock operator up there is Michael Kelly, guys, with you. 45-year real estate agent. He's retired from that, now a travel agent. He leaves on Monday to go on safari to Africa. This is his last and first game of the season. Back to you.
How about that? GHS going for 2 here. And that one is just wide. So the 2-point conversion is unsuccessful as Comstock throws it wide. And finally, we have reached the end of quarter number one. We'll take a break. Jeff Cardozo, Shannon Snell, Randy Reinhardt with you. Our first quarter of many, many good ones here on Friday Night Rivals. We welcome you back to IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. One quarter in the books tonight as we open up the high school football season. GHS kicking it off to Belleview once again, and Marquis Davis coming up and getting it, but he's got nowhere to go. As a big hit by Keanis Perry, who we just saw there in running back, making some things happen on special teams.
Yeah, Perry coming through and wanted to finish off that touchdown, then obviously wasn't able to, so he said, I'm going to make an impact on special teams.
Or Raising Cane's kickoff results in a penalty flag as well. Well, Shannon, we've seen Bellevue a couple of times on offense now. Haven't really been able to get much going in the passing game. And I think even if you look at what they're trying to do running-wise, the success may be up the middle. Every time they've tried to run wide, GHS has been there ready to stop it.
Yeah, they've been able to pursue well, game tackle, get them to the ground. And listen, it's not outside the realm of what can happen if you're Bellevue. Like, keep with your offense. I think they've done some stuff in that first quarter that they saw some success with. But it's super important that now that they try to have a sustained drive, right? GHS has got some momentum with, especially with that pick six. Have some sustained momentum here on this drive. Give your offense some, give your offense some confidence, and more importantly, try to get some points on the board to get GHS from jumping too far ahead.
3 wide to start the drive. Carroll will hand it off, and nowhere to go for Torrey Turner as he has stopped it immediately, and that will be a couple-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, Turner trying to get there. Listen, if you're offensive line, you shouldn't be turning around watching your running back get hit. You guys got to sustain blocks, and JHS is doing a great job at the point of attack, right? They're slanting, they're getting off of blocks well, they're doing a good job on that front. But if you're offensive lineman, I don't care if you got to hold one time or do whatever, keep those guys off your running back, and you shouldn't be watching them take those licks in the backfield.
I was always told that offensive linemen are holding on every play.
Whoever told you that's a liar, Jeff. But, we can move forward.
That's right. Hey, if they don't see it, it didn't happen, right?
Exactly.
Kara rolls to his right, looking downfield, nowhere to go. He's just going to try to flip it away, and it will come up short. Nice job again by GHS trying to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, GHS is they're flying all over the field, and you can see that looking for somebody downfield. You see just some scanning down there. You see just looking for any open wide receiver. GHS is just doing a great job of blanketing people, and then their front four is getting enough pressure to where they can keep extra guys in that secondary.
Elijah Nemec comes in, the senior wide receiver, on what is another 3rd and long for this Bellevue offense. They'll have 4 wide. With Turner still in there at running back, and that play taking way too long to develop, forcing Bellevue to call a timeout.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit mixed up over what was going on. Their formation was a little bit wonky there, and I think they saw something they didn't like. But listen, if you're Bellevue, you got an opportunity here it's 3rd and 20, right? Get half of this, maybe try to get 3/4 of this on this play, and then maybe go for it. You can't get down 3 scores to GHS because GHS has shown the ability to keep the ball control, to do a lot of things as they did in the first quarter to keep this team off kilter, this Bellevue defense off kilter.
Well, it's game 1, so Randy's got a lot of energy. He's running around doing his thing, and he has found a special guest down on the sideline. Randy, who you got?
The legendary, hold your applause, Riley Terry, the marketing director for Parks Motor Group of Gainesville. And what does this mean being here on a Friday night, all the excitement and all the community involvement? What does this mean to Parks Motor Group to be a part of all this?
Really, it's about giving back to the people who give so much into us. We want to be a business that genuinely shows up and makes a difference in the community and takes care of our people. And we wouldn't be where we are without these people. So we want to be the best we can be for this community.
Long bomb incomplete. Also, on top of that, what does Friday night football mean to you folks, too? Because I know it's special for so many different people, including your group, too, right?
Yes. Friday night football is what it's all about. It brings families together, brings kids together, and gives a little bit of a healthy, what is the word for it? It just brings
camaraderie, yeah?
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
There you go. And finally, I've got to ask you something here. Is this a good time to buy a car?
It's always a good time to buy a car, especially during the school season because you'll be carpooling and you'll be traveling a lot. So you need something reliable, and you can come to Parks Ford of Gainesville.
So don't think about drive, think about park, as in Parks Motor Group in Gainesville. Riley, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Funny enough, Jeff, is that I bought my last 3 cars from Parks.
How about that?
They are good people. I'm telling you that. Like, if you're in the Gainesville area, go to Parks. Listen, I'm a pit master. I'm a guy that looks over his stuff, and trust me, Parks, they get it done. They got good people there.
Yeah, they certainly do their thing, and I think Riley's absolutely right, and that's what's neat about being back here in a stadium and what high school sports is all about. And you've got the band, you've got students, you've got families, little kids running around supporting, big brothers, all those types of things. It's just that feel again, Shannon, that I think we've certainly missed for the last 6 months or so.
Jeff, when we get to the end of the season, I feel so down and bad. It's like, hey, man, I know what I'm doing every single Friday night. I'm enjoying myself watching these guys, these young men out here playing football, enjoying themselves, creating memories. There's nothing better than on Friday nights.
Keanis Perry gets the first down handoff, and he puts his shoulder down, gets a nice strong 5 yards there on first down, and looks like GHS is just going to continue to pound the football. They've done that really well tonight. And I think the best part about that, Shannon, is because they've run it so successfully, when they choose to pass like what they do right here, they've had some success.
Well, yeah, and even right there, I mean, incomplete pass, but you're opening up opportunities in the passing game, but also the play-action game. You know, they've established kind of what they like to do at the line of scrimmage. They say, hey, we can pound the ball, we can do that. You know, we've done that in the first quarter, we've done it in parts of the second quarter. But now you're becoming more than just one-dimensional. GHS at some point in time, right now they're in control of this game, but at some point in time, they're going to have to open up multi-facets of this offense in their game, and I think Coach Oshpiro is really doing a great job of calling the game plan and letting his guys play inside and kind of expand as he goes along here in the first and second quarter.
Comstock rolling to the right, and that one falls incomplete. That's never easy, trying to throw back across your body.
No, a lot of times, even if you're Patrick Mahomes, who has a rocket on his arm, right? It says it's never recommended that you throw back across your body. And there's nothing, I mean, it's just the accuracy issue right there. And even your receivers get a little confused. The ball comes from a different angle. You know, as you see right there, it was tipped up in the air, almost picked off. But never recommended to throw back across your body.
Well, another timeout called. Well, coming up in about 10 minutes or so, it'll be halftime, and I want you to stay tuned for our Pavlov halftime report. We'll have this week's Park Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athletes. Park Motor Group, local roots, community pride, legendary rides. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus we'll have some Thursday night lights and Friday night rival highlights from all over the country as we kick off high school season tonight. It's all coming up during the Pavlov Media halftime report. Pavlov, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet in Gainesville. Well, GHS going to go for it here. 4th and 6 officially. Comstock looking down the field. He's got an open man. Can Gardner get the first down? No, he cannot. That is a great tackle there by Torrey Turner, who we've seen in the backfield offensively quite a bit, but no bigger impact than that stop right there.
Hey, let's keep it real for a second. That Bellevue defense has done a pretty good job of bending but not breaking. We saw it down there on their goal line stand, right? You just take a look at the scoreboard. Sometimes it doesn't explain everything that's happened. GHS ripped off a big run for a touchdown on their first play of the game, but all of a sudden this Bellevue defense has been a little bit stingy. So if you're GHS, you got to figure out a way to punch the ball into the end zone and get points on the board. But if you're Bellevue, you probably hold serve and see if your offense can get going.
Yeah, that's big time one-on-one play right there. Caro quickly getting this offense going again for Bellevue, and that's going to be a heck of a catch by Marquis Davis. He just went up and snagged it when a GHS defender thought he was there for the pick.
Yeah, that was one of those ones. If you're playing Madden at home or NCAA football, that's where the one-on-ones, the crossing route runs right in front of your guy when you think you had a pick. That's exactly what happened right there. And Marquis Davis, that was almost his second. That's his first big catch, but almost had another one early in the game, one-handed snag down his right sideline.
We'll see if that'll ignite this Bellevue offense, who is now across midfield for the second time tonight. Caro back to pass, trying to go deep down the right side, and that'll be incomplete, but a flag on the play, as it did look like Zaire Francis got there a little early.
Well, it seems like they wanted to go to Davis again. He's their big play receiver, kind of airing it out to that right sideline to him. Wasn't able to pull it in, but it looks like this might be pass interference.
Yeah, one-on-one out there, and it's a nice job by Caro. It was a good ball. And Francis just there a little early.
Well, you finally got some movement if you're Bellevue.
15 yards further down the field now. That'll take him inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, got to feel good. You finally got some movement if you're Bellevue. And just kind of keep on pace, right? You're going to have to get that run game going just a little bit. They'll open up some passes, open up some lanes in the pass game. But if they continue to do what they are here, they're going to put themselves in a good spot to put 6 points up on the board.
Gabe Caro, he'll take the snap, looking to his right again. Now force back left, and GHS has 4 different defenders right there, finally brought down by Samuel Warren Jr. after Caro was able to get a couple of positive yards out of that.
you got to like what Caro can do with his legs, right? Is he the fastest guy on the field? No, he's not. But a lot of times what good quarterbacks can do nowadays is they're fast enough or they're shifty enough to get themselves out of trouble. If you're, in most days or back in the day when a quarterback was back there, he's getting sacked for, 10 to 12-yard loss. Caro was able to get up to the line and get positive yardage off of what was really a broken play.
Ballesteros in motion, but flags on the play. And our 75-year-old referee will tell us who did something naughty. And it was Bellevue. Moving early.
Yeah, just a couple of those penalties that Bellevue is really going to have to cut out. And this is what you don't want to see if you're Bellevue, is that they've done a good job of getting down here off of 2 big pass plays, one being a pass interference. But now if you start putting yourself behind the sticks a little bit, right, you give GHS all the ammunition to send the dogs and play pass cover. So don't make yourself one-dimensional if you're Bellevue and try to stay ahead of the sticks.
Caro fakes the handoff, rolling out to his left. He'll get it to his receiver, breaking a tackle, now another one, and nice yardage there by Torrey Turner. Remember, Turner was the guy that had that big stop defensively, and now he's doing it on the other side of the ball for a UF Health Ortho Care first down, where walk-ins are welcome at UF Health Ortho Care 7 days a week.
Yeah, Caro able to get out to the left, and it seems like this play where they're trying to roll him out, kind of a run-pass option, but it turns into somewhat of a sandlot play where the running back leaks out of the backfield. He just kind of tosses it out to him and gets really big yards for a first down.
Caro rolling right again, looking down the field, and he's found a man. Not sure he was trying to throw it to the guy that ended up catching it. That's Ballesteros. It looked like Nolan Hansen was there as well, but Ballesteros able to haul it in and quickly.
It looked like a double corner route there. Like, hey, I'm just going to throw it in that area when you guys catch it. And
somebody please get
it. Worked, yeah.
Caro will keep it now and nowhere to go there as Pira gets some nice pursuit with the help of one of his teammates. Well, quickly, though, Bellevue got into that Calamatras red zone. Calamatras steals so hot, they built a fire station across the street. There's actually one here at Citizens Field.
Well, Jeff, and speaking of fire, they need to light a fire on their butt, because if you're Bellevue, you got to score here, right? It can't be an empty trip. You get down here, a lot of stuff going on. They've had a lot happen in this first half, but this is a great opportunity for them to cut the score into half.
Yeah, big third down. Turner will take the snap, and how about the pursuit there by Samuel Warren Jr. He got by that entire offensive line and a huge stop there on 3rd and 1.
Such a great play. Was able to knife through and get a shoestring tackle. Sometimes you just guess right, but sent him on a run blitz, read it correctly, and was able to get him to the ground.
That's a loss of 5 on the play, so that makes it 4th and 6. And Bellevue's going to keep that offense on the field, down 12-0. And they are going to score because of it. Nice patient play there. And all the way into the end zone goes Marquis Davis. And Davis had a heck of a drive. That was Turner and Davis doing it throughout the entire drive. We've got a flag on the play, maybe a little celebration penalty.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of an interesting route right there. We kind of saw it on one of the previous plays where it almost looked like a double corner route, where it looked like 2 guys were on some sort of a crosser, some sort of a drag, and sure enough, you see Marquis Davis was able to pull that in for a big touchdown.
Well, now we'll let the referees sort this thing out. It looked like the flag came down after the touchdown.
Yeah, the ref kind of stared at there was a Bellevue player on the ground. He stared at him for a second and just kind of tossed the flag.
So will in fact be unsportsmanlike conduct after the play. It was a sweet dance move there by Marquis Davis. I mean, Shannon probably got flashbacks of middle school when he's in the circle there and everybody's huddled around him doing his thing.
Yeah, if I try that now, I'd probably tear my ACL. So glad I'm not in the middle of that circle. I remember even back in the day, I think it was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it boom, shake the room. It was really weird.
Well, Bellevue's going to go for it on 2, and that one in and out of the hands of Nolan Hansen. So 3 touchdowns have been scored, and nobody has been able to convert either 1 or 2 after that. So it's 12-6 as we take a break here on Friday Night Rivals. .12-6 ball game here at Citizens Field as GHS is on top of Bellevue. During the 4th quarter of the game tonight, we'll be selecting our IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 1205 powering a brighter future. About to have another Raisin Canes kickoff. But before we do that, let's toss it down to Randy, who's got something on the man that just caught the touchdown, Marquis Davis.
Yeah, Davis is one of the multi-dimensional athletes they have in that offensive backfield. Against Zephyr Christian Hills in the spring game, he had a pick 6 for a touchdown. He can throw the ball, and he did in that game. Also, he went up over 2 defenders taller than him and caught a touchdown pass. Otherwise, he did nothing. But they have a lot of guys like that with Turner and the Carew brothers in the backfield. This team has the weapons. Can they come all the way back? Guys?
Yeah, great question. That was a great drive, Randy, for them to get within a touchdown.
It was. They needed it. And obviously Davis was a big reason that they were able to get down there. Had a couple big catches on that drive. But, you know, they still have some obvious room to do in the second half or the rest of the second quarter.
You know, Gardner takes it on the kickoff, goes one way, breaks some tackles, gets to the outside. Nice cutback move, and he continues to churn. A heck of a return there as he gets all the way to the 25-yard line. That is a 35-yard return and gets Gainesville some really nice field position to increase that lead.
Yeah, Javaris Gardner's doing it all tonight, right? We've seen him in the backfield ripping off a couple big 40-yard plus runs. But now we see him in the return game, able to kind of get up and come around that right side. And you got to love his shiftiness, right? It's taking more than one guy to bring him to the ground, and he's breaking these tackles and ripping off some big runs. Big part of what GHS is doing here tonight. And if you're going to be successful, if you're that Bellevue defense, you got to slow this guy down.
Well, after Gardner was huffing and puffing, he'll bring in Keanis Perry as the tailback. And Perry will get the handoff, trying to go off left tackle. And a good strong 3 or 4 yards there on first down.
Yeah, still got to feel good if you're GHS, and you got to figure out a way to punch this ball into the end zone, try to get yourself some points on the board. We talked about such a great job what the Bellevue defense has done about bending but not breaking. But on the opposite side is if you're GHS, you got to find a way to finish off drives.
We've seen the last couple of drives by GHS going away from the running game. We'll see if they stick with it here. As Gardner is back in the ball game, they'll hand it to him, but nowhere to go. As 2 guys in there in a hurry for Bellevue, and that is Alex Barentine and Mike Cowart, a sophomore and a junior.
Yeah, we've seen Barentine in on quite a few stops here this evening, doing a good job of coming from that middle linebacker spot, making some plays in the backfield, and really doing a good job also in coverage.
So a loss of 1 on the play makes it 3rd and 7. He'll try to throw it to the outside, and that ball's going to be caught and into the end zone. goes Jaquan Wooden.
Good gracious, Jeff. You talk about somebody, like, that's a 50-50 ball. Anybody that doesn't know what a 50-50 ball is he wasn't open, but his quarterback threw that ball up and said, you know what, you got it, go get it. And sure enough, you saw Jaquan Wooden basically shrug off the defender, go up and get that and bring it in for a touchdown.
We can send that in to ESPN that you got mauled.
Good gracious. Like, there was no question about that one. Yeah, just walk that one in, drop the football and walk back like, hey, yeah, I knew I was going to do that.
6'2", 190-pounder hauls it in, so Calvin Comstock will get the touchdown pass, and Comstock and GHS will now go for 2, trying to convert for the first time. He'll roll to the right, and that one is nice defensive play, knocked down by Marquis Davis. So there's about 3 or 4 names now we're calling on both sides, and dudes are starting to take over this ball game. Well, GHS gets in the end zone again, an 18-6 lead as we take a break here on IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. Jeff Cardozo, Shannon Snell back with you at Citizens Field, James F. Niblock Athletic Complex here on the east side of Gainesville. Home to, of course, GHS. East side, View holds a lot of good football played in this area, and a lot of great teachers in this community as well. And we will see in just a little bit our Bounds Heating and Air Teacher Spotlight. Bounds Heating and Air, where longevity meets integrity and service for our community. And you know, Shannon, I think this community has been longing for GHS to get good again. And I think we could see some signs last year with the progress of this program. And so far, so good tonight.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. And one of the oldest programs in this area. And I think a lot of times, oh, boy.
Well, there's that man again, Marquis Davis. He just made the step, and he just takes it to the house.
Oh, boy.
Got a seam, ran over a couple of tacklers, and he's one of those names where we had just talked about saying over and over and over, and he is starting to take over this ball game.
Speechless, because he hit that spin button in between there. You know, you thought he was on a run, and you could say, hey, somebody needs to slow this kid down, and all of a sudden he hits that seam, hits a spin up that left sideline, and then all of a sudden he's in the end zone, turns on that unbelievable speed that he has, and just, listen, if you're GHS, all that hard work that you had on that last drive just gets nullified by a big Marquis Davis touchdown. And what we talked about what Javarius Gardner is to GHS, we now see what Marquis Davis is for Bellevue. And to your point, Jeff, going back before this big kickoff, yeah, I think GHS, which has been a fantastic program for such a long time, it has a long tradition of great players and state competition, had struggled for quite a while, right? Trying to figure out what the right moves were, who the right coach was. And we saw a lot of great progress under Ian Scott last year. But, you know, obviously with Osh P-Rud coming in and trying to instill a level of confidence, a level of discipline, a level of toughness inside this GHS program once again, it's good to see, and it's going to be great for the area to see GHS once again be great.
Yeah, he's got a roster about 75 guys, got a whole bunch of people to buy in that weren't playing and have come out for football. And I think the unique thing is trying to establish a culture, and what he's been able to do. And Coach requires the guys to sit either in the first or the second row of class. He's going to instill that they've got to wear shirt and ties on one day of the week, and just make sure that everybody understands what they're trying to do here. And people have certainly bought in. All right, well, Bellevue going for 2 here. And Caro trying to make it happen, and this time it is caught. Nolan Hansen couldn't hold on to the last one. Bobbles this one, but able to pull it in, and Bellevue a little bit closer after they get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that's big by Davis, able to get that in the end zone. And then you see such a really good play made right there by Hansen, able to pull that in off of a bobble. And then Bellevue, they're cooking now, right? They're going pace for pace. And we said, hey, keep pace. That was one of the keys to the game for Bellevue, is to try to keep pace with GHS. Obviously, they've done it in a couple different ways, but yet when you look at the scoreboard, off of initially being down 12-0 and almost having the ball going back the opposite way again, they've done a great job of fighting back and pushing this into a tight football game.
Really surprised when Hansen scored there, Shannon didn't start singing Umba, one of his favorites. All right, so we will have another Raising Cane's kickoff, whether you're tailgating the game with a group or watching from home. Raising Cane's, always a good call on game day. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Hansen will do the kickoff duties here. Eight guys within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and Hansen's going to kick it out of bounds. So GHS offense will take back over. 4:38 left here until halftime, and 18-14. Canes lead.
I guess the question is, who can stop the big play? And that's what we've seen. We haven't seen a lot of sustained drives that have been capped off by a touchdown. We've seen a pick six. We've seen a kickoff for a touchdown. We've seen 2-point conversion. We've seen a big run. We've seen a big throw here for a touchdown. We've seen the big play really take hold of the football game here tonight. The question is, which defense or which special team can slow down the abundance of big plays and make a play when they really need to?
Sophomore quarterback Calvin Comstock will take back over. He'll have one receiver to his left, 2 to the right. Jaquan Wooden just caught the last touchdown pass. Wide right, but they'll give it to Gardner. Trying to get through, and he'll only get a yard on first down.
Yeah, once again, excellent job by number 52, Alex Barentine, coming off that left edge over there and chasing that down and making a tackle. He's been pretty active tonight, getting in that backfield and knifing through, making some big stops.
Clock ticking, just over 4 minutes to go until halftime. GHS would certainly love to keep the ball the rest of the way. Comstock will hand it off again. Nice blocking. And Gardner weaves his way through. And that's going to make it third and manageable, about 4 yards.
Gardner, a typical running back, able to kind of slow it down, wait for his blocks to develop, and then sudden burst to get through the line. Love his running style. It's really, really big. And a big reason why GHS is having a lot of success in that running game tonight.
So it'll make it 3rd and 5.
The big down here for if you're Bellevue is to try to be able to force GHS off the field, force a punt to get the ball back into your offense's hands, and where, especially Marquis Davis, where he's really white hot.
And Keanis Perry will not go anywhere. Looked like he might have slipped, but good pursuit again. As quickly in there for Bellevue was Landon Kemp, the inside linebacker, senior 5'10", 180-pounder, and that's going to force a GHS punt. First time tonight that Tyon Johnson is back there kicking.
So if you're sitting in the mindset of a coach on the sideline, if I'm standing down there, I'm like, hell with it. I'm not kicking at number 8. I'm kicking the ball out of bounds. I'm finding a way not to put the ball in the hands of the guy that has really done a lot of the damage here for that Bellevue football team tonight.
Davis is deep. He'll put his tippy toes on about the 30-yard line. High snap. But nice job by Tyon Johnson, able to get it off, and it takes a heck of a bounce there by GHS. So Johnson just saved a lot of field position right there. Heck of a job going up and getting it off, and it's all the way down to the 25-yard line.
That was an impressive punt. I don't know if we've seen a lot of impressive feats here tonight by these young men. We've seen, things that we didn't think, but this hasn't been your regular conventional football game. Now, if you're Bellevue, you've got to be able to show on offense. You've done a lot. You've seen Marquis Davis go up and really put them in a position to be back in this football game, but I think you've got to get into a normal spread of your offense. What does your offense look like if you're going to run the football? Who is your playmaker if they decide to start doubling Davis? Who, don't be surprised to see a safety over top to start covering his deep ball.
Well, Bellevue's going to have a couple of minutes, try to get in the end zone here before the half. Haro takes the shotgun snap, tries to go deep down the right side, and intended for Davis. It's about 2 yards too long, and it'll be second down.
You can kind of see Davis down there kind of a little gingerly. It looks like he's cramping up a little bit. Obviously been running around this entire first half. You'll see cramps throughout the first part of the season. It's nice and humid out here, and there's a lot going on. But
and we will now have an injury timeout to allow Davis to get off the field, and he's just going to lay down, let that athletic trainer come out. And
it's a cramp. Yeah, yep. You can see it. And listen, you'll see a lot of this at the skill position. Not a lot of, not a lot of fat, not a lot of weight around those legs and stuff. And a lot of times, these guys try to hydrate before a game, but sometimes it's not enough.
Well, 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, and then it will be our Pavlov halftime report. We'll have this week's Park Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athletes. Parks Motor Group, local roots, community pride, legendary rides. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators. We'll have some highlights from Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals from all over the country. It's all coming up during our Pavlov Media halftime report. Pavlov, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet in Gainesville.
So this also beckons the question is if Davis goes out, who picks up the slack, right? We've seen a lot out of him, and you never want to make one player the most important part of your team, because if you lose that player, something happens. As it here, right? He's got to walk these cramps off. Cramps are something that just goes away immediately. He's got to rehydrate. There's 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in this half. He's got to rehydrate, try to get those cramps out of his system. But now it's with this time, who steps up? Who's the guy that you focus on if you're Bellevue, that Bellevue offense, to get this team down this football field and try to get points on the board?
Well, we'll try to work that cramp out, get him some Gatorade, of course, invented right here in Gainesville. Got the Cade Museum not too far from here. But Shannon could probably hit a 7-iron down Waldo Road and get it over to the Cade Museum.
6-iron. You give me too much credit. I had a 6-iron down that way.
Nice pass and catch there. That's Hansen again, bopping his way across midfield. And that was a nice positive play there by Bellevue.
Yeah, Hansen, once again, we're asking who takes over. Hansen done a great job catching that 2-point conversion down there to get the close the score down. Does he become the guy? Does he become the guy on this drive specifically that starts to help move this football?
Well, first game for a lot of people, and the chain gang trying to get caught up here. Clock stop, 2:07. Here until halftime, ball right at midfield for the Rattlers. Caro has time and overshoots his intended receiver. That's Xavier Ballesteros.
Yeah, they're loving that corner route. That Caro loves kind of floating that ball up and has done a really good job of putting some height on that ball. And you can see right there, number 0.
Yeah, Ballesteros cramping up too.
Yeah, guys gonna have to hydrate, and that's one thing if you have to do. It can be a huge detriment if that, when you're coming off the field like, hey, I'm hyped up, I'm feeling fine, just scored a touchdown, big play, but you got to hydrate, especially at this point of the season where it's 100% humidity out here in the Florida heat.
A flag on the play as well. That's a big penalty, 10 yards for holding. As as that will push Bellevue back. So that makes it 2nd and 20. Ballesteros in motion. He'll go to the short side of the field. Caro looking all over, nowhere to go. But he's able to escape, able to get back to the line of scrimmage there. That's a nice play by the quarterback, as he was hit initially about 7 or 8 yards behind that.
And that's what I talk about. He's not burning anybody up, right? He's not taking off. He's Michael Vick up that sideline. He's doing enough to shake a guy, make a guy miss, or having those feet get him out of trouble so he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes those are the most important plays that never have the huge stats that people love to see.
Well, Gainesville is going to call a timeout here, 3rd and 20, as Bellevue would look like they were just going to run the clock out. So nice job there by Osh Perry. You've got the timeouts. You might as well try to get the ball back here and see if you can get a stop here on 3rd down.
Yeah, and GHS has shown the ability to do both big plays in the run game and in the pass game. So try to get the ball back, maybe throw some heat down there, get your no-huddle offense working a little bit. You can't take the timeouts in the half with you. They're not going to hop on the bus. They're not going to ride home with you, so might as well spend them when you can.
Not totally dark yet, but we are getting close, as way off in the distance, luckily way off, is some heat lightning out there. It's definitely hot, sticky. Got out of the car to make my way over to the stadium and said 105.
It did. I think every year we get to this point of August, and August obviously being the hottest month in Florida, and you can make a case for July, but August being the hottest month, and these guys, you got to respect the fact, and I don't miss it. Being out in that sun and practicing with all that gear on, everybody's like, you miss football? Heck no, I don't miss football. I don't miss those times of dragging my tongue off the ground or being cramped up. But it's that August heat, man. It's that August time in August that you just absolutely enjoy. Football's back.
There's Turner trying to get to the outside. He's going to get brought down just as he crosses over midfield. Nice tackle there by Jaquan Wooden on the other side. So a couple of number ones going at it right there. And we'll see what Bellevue now does here.
And this is big, Jeff. Do they go for this? I mean, you give GHS really great field position if you don't make it on 4th down here. And listen, I appreciate the gamble. I appreciate, or is this 3rd down here?
Yeah, it looked like that was 2nd down.
Okay,
so
3rd down.
Got a lot of yards back there, though, as Caro's looking around, trying to find an open receiver, but he's going to get brought down. Nice job by a couple of GHS defenders right there. That's Rayshawn Dean, the junior. And also in there on the tack is Richardson. He's been a big impact in this ball game. Well, with the ball right now at midfield, looks like both teams have decided to let it run down.
Hey, what a first half of football. Obviously, GHS coming out the gate swinging with the big run by Javarius Gardner. And then the pick 6 to go up 12-0. But, you got to feel good if you're Bellevue fighting back some really big plays on that side of the football. Some really great job by their football team. So expect them to kind of take it into half and regroup there.
Well, not halftime yet. It looked like Bellevue, for some reason, decided to call a timeout with about 1 second on the clock. So maybe thinking they could try for a Hail Mary here. We'll see how far Caro can get the ball down the field. Never know what's going to happen. So GHS will have to defend one more play. They'll officially put 2 seconds back on the clock. Look down there, and Marquis Davis is back in there. So cramp's good enough for him to try to one final play here in the half. And both he and Hansen, who's had a nice first half as well, the sophomore, will be on the right side of the formation. It'll be 4 wide here for the Rattlers.
Thoreau has the arm to get it down there, so if you're and looks like GHS is playing pretty close to the line. Looks like there's going to be a one-shot ball here. So if you're them, it's one-on-one coverage on that right side over there. So why not just chuck it up down there, see what happens?
Carl will run around, sets his feet, gets it off, and that will be incomplete. Good coverage down there as the half will end. Well, GHS at one point led it 12-0. It'll be 18-14. Here as we have reached halftime, and let's show you how we got there. Our Farah and Farah scoring summary, sponsored by Farah and Farah, Gainesville Injury Attorneys, proud supporters of our local student athletes. And Shannon, there's how Bellevue got on the board with that man Marquis Davis once again.
Yeah, Davis, a big part of what happened here. Davis able to go across on that crossing route and make a big play. And then all of a sudden you see Jaquan Wooden just go up and just take it away, walk in the end zone, like, I'm just drop this. What are you doing? Right, makes it happen, puts him up big right there. And then all of a sudden, you know, you see right here, here's that man again, Marquis Davis taking it up the middle. I'm going to hit that spin button. I'm going to take it up this right sideline. Didn't know he had that speed in his bag, but was able to do it, hold that finger up and tell him, hey, we still in this game.
So a couple of touchdowns there for number 8, and he has been responsible for both of them for the Rattlers. 18-14 as we have reached the half here on Friday Night Rivals.
Parks Motor Group is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Landon Kemp shows his dedication as a 4-year member of the football and weightlifting teams at Bellevue High School. He has a GPA of 4.29, is on track to complete the AICE diploma program, and is active in student government and FCA. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Friday Night Rivals Scholar Athletes of the Week are brought to you by Parks Motor Group of Gainesville. Local roots, community pride, legendary rides.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group, we congratulate you with this honor, and we wish you the best season.
Thank you so much. This is an honor.
And welcome back to the Pavlov Media Halftime Report at halftime of week number 1 of the season. What a game. We've got Gainesville on top of Bellevue by a count of 18-14. But somebody that put Bellevue back on top of the map. In year number 3, please hold your applause, the one and only Lewis Ragland, the athletic director there, and welcome to the halftime show.
Thanks, sir. Great to be here.
Let's talk about what's going on at your school year. The start of another year, how does it feel?
Feels rushed because everything's a week early, but we're doing great. We lost about 400 kids to the new school they built in Marion County, so we have about 1,600, and everything's rocking and rolling.
And let's talk about the football program. This is a team that struggled like Gainesville did last year. Both teams were 2-8, but a lot of excitement. And you have a lot of tremendous athletes in that offensive backfield too, do you not?
Yes, we do. Marquise Davis, we have Torrey Turner, Landon Kemp, who won an award earlier tonight. We're trying to do our best and add on to what we won last year from our 2-8 and be more successful.
What kind of message as the athletic director do you have to impart to your student athletes?
Academics first, under direction of Christy Blair and Michael Lucido with our ACE Cambridge program. So we have about 850 students that took at least one ACE class last year, and 650 of them are full-time ACE students. And last year, 950 of them were in ACE as well and did very successful.
Now, temporarily, I'm replacing Coach Hartwell with you at halftime. So get ready. What is your halftime speech to the team right now? Make it longer than that.
We were supposed to be underdogs, and as you can see, we're competing.
You're doing an outstanding job. Lewis, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you again later on this season.
Thank you, sir.
18-14, not the year I was born, but the score here at the break. Back with more of week number 1 here on Friday Night Rivals on My 11 right after this. Stay tuned.
Parks Motor Group is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Declan McDonald is a 3-time district champion for varsity water polo and helped take the GHS team to the regional semifinals. He's also a member of the swim team, the GHS Cambridge program, and the Academy of Healthcare Professionals. He hopes to attend UF and pursue a medical career. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Friday Night Rivals Scholar Athletes of the Week are brought to you by Parks Motor Group of Gainesville. Local roots, community pride, legendary rides.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, we present this honor to you and wish you the best season.
Thank you all so much. Go Hurricanes.
And we are joined now at halftime by the assistant principal at Gainesville High School, the one and only Kirk Tarpley. We've had him on in the past. Welcome back to the halftime show. How are things in Gainesville right now?
They're pretty good. We're 2 weeks into the school year. The 12th graders and 11th graders, upperclassmen, have just been really good at being leaders around the school. We're getting the 9th graders kind of adapted to the culture of Gainesville High School.
And somebody else that may need a name tag is your head football coach. Asher Pira has done a fabulous job with this team.
Yeah, Coach P, he didn't have a full offseason with the team, but the team has really bought in to what he's trying to say, and that vision has transferred from on the field to off the field, where we have students that all of our football players sit in the first 2 rows of every single class. They wear a shirt and tie on Mondays because that's statistically when colleges come to recruit, and they have a report card that they have to fill out every day before they can go to practice.
If I showed up for school the first day at Gainesville High School, what would you tell me about the school?
I would say that we are a very diverse community. We have 120 kids that speak English as a second language, but we also have kids that are from right down the street, right? I think one of the best things about Gainesville High School is being in the middle of the city of Gainesville. We kind of get every single neighborhood, and it's a community atmosphere where people love each other, and we all try to help out and make it the best school year possible.
And you may have some students that could become future electricians. At least Trevor Chapman with the IBEW Local 1205 hopes that's the case. And Trevor, you've done a great job with your organization. You have to be proud of the IBEW, right?
I'm very proud of the IBEW, Randy. It's what gave me the life that I have today, and I want to spread that with everybody who's looking for a career. So.
Is there a way they can find out more information?
They can check out our website. Our apprenticeship website is etagainesville.org, or you could check out IBEW1205.org if you're already an electrician looking for a union job.
Cha-ching. And now, the best part of all, speaking of cha-chings, you have a special presentation, do you not?
Yes, sir. I'd like to present, on behalf of the IBEW Local 1205, Gainesville High, this check for $500 for your program.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I've got to tell you, as a former breakdance instructor, to celebrate this new check, guess what Kirk's going to do for us?
I don't know. I can give a little shimmy like this.
There you go, Grant.
I got it. Thank you so much, Randy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What a fun halftime we've had here. Thanks to Ed running camera here. And with that being said, we'll remind you, just think of what the second half could be in this game. 18-14 at the break. Week number 1. Glad to have you aboard. More action just around the corner in one place right here on My 11.
Bounds Heating and Air is proud to present the Teacher Spotlight of the Week. This week's spotlight shines on Catherine Haro of Gainesville High School. She's taught for 22 years and teaches AICE English Language and AP English Language and Composition. She has received a Teacher of the Year nomination and is a published writer. Outside of school, she enjoys reading and writing, live music, weight training, and dog walking. Catherine's mission in teaching is to influence every one of her students to question and be critical thinkers, readers, and communicators. Her favorite thing about teaching is witnessing students' learning and personal growth as the year progresses. Congratulations, Catherine Haro. Teacher Spotlight of the Week is brought to you by Bounds Heating and Air. Experience the highest quality of comfort, Bounds Heating and Air.
(18-14) the tally here at the half, joined by the head coach of the Rattlers, the one and only Bo Hartwell. And he's a little hoarse right now, so I may have to sign this for you. But your thoughts about the first 2 quarters of action?
We fell behind, we fought back, and we just got to win the second half.
The status of Davis, what's his health to start quarter number 3?
He's good to go. He's going to make more plays.
Anything surprise you about your offense or defense in the first half?
No, they did really well stopping the run, so they made us go more to the pass. So it good for they got a good run D.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Why don't you go over there and grab that other head coach for me, if you don't mind? I'm going to make the other head coach a grip and grab the other head coach for me. And Asher Pierre is going to join us now in his first year as head coach at a school last year. They went 2-8 in Gainesville. Asher's going to join us right now. And, Coach, your thoughts about the first 24 minutes of action. Are you happy with a 4-point lead?
We're really not concerned with the lead or how the scoreboard looks right now. I think we're just trying to improve play-by-play. We made some costly errors, and we left a bunch of points out there on the field, but credit to Belleview. I mean, they cashed in on some of our mistakes. We just have to continue to execute and try to get better play-by-play.
Are you even surprised by Gardner and his play in the first half?
I'm not surprised by it. I think we need to do a better job protecting for him. I think we made some schematic mistakes there that we'll have to adjust. Hopefully we made those adjustments at halftime and come out a little stronger second half.
Your name in Assyrian means, Asher, means strong or happy or both. Right now you're strong. I assume you want to be happy in 2 quarters.
Hey, I'm happy anytime I'm on the football field, especially with these guys. A special group. I love them. Regardless of what happens with second half, this group is fighting.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Asher, named after an Assyrian king from 689 BC to 635 BC. Let's see if he is a happy, strong warrior at the end of this contest. Guys, back upstairs to you.
Randy doing some homework. I love it.
Yeah, he is. He's a man of many talents, but he is a encyclopedia of football and every other kind of knowledge.
Well, I think you have to say a chat GPT now. I don't think a kid would know what an encyclopedia is these days anymore, right?
I don't think Randy would know what chat GPT is. So I'm not trying to age you, Randy. I'm just being real.
Well, being real, what are some of the adjustments now each of these teams have to make? It's a couple of quarters into the first game of the season, but certainly a lot of things that each team can do differently.
Yeah, let's talk about GHS first, right? We talk about them having to finish off drives, having to have enders, right? And being able to be sustainable with their drives. They've had some big plays and love to see them. But in the same breath is that those drives that Bellevue has been able to stop have been those long ones that they've been able to put a stop to. We saw it down there on the goal line. We saw the punt earlier in the game. So done a good job there. And then, if you're Bellevue, you got to score. You're going to have some semblance of an offense. So.
Well, here's some of that offense from half number one. Here's how things got going for GHS. Tavares Gardner just taking it, getting up the right side, and using that speed to get all the way to the end zone. And you saw him get by Marquis Davis right there at the very end. And Davis, I think, used that to say, hey, this ain't going to happen too often. And GHS with another big-time play right there. The 8 on the other side. That's Amarian Hubbard jumping the route and making it 12-0.
Yeah, Hubbard jumping that in the cover 2 right there and just making it happen. But here's who we saw happen. Marquis Davis coming through and having a really big play, that big touchdown to cut that lead in half. And you got to feel good if you were Bellevue. Now, listen, the dance happens. You just got to go with it. But here was a huge play in the pass game. The number 1, Jaquan Wooden, just able to moss that and bring that baby in for a huge 6 points and really push GHS to a 2-score lead until you get to put the ball back in the hands of number 8. That's Marquis Davis, hitting that spin button, getting up that right sideline. And the only thing that affected that young man in that first half was cramp. So if he can keep those under control, look out. He's going to have a big game.
Well, they kick it right to Davis, who bobbles it for our second half kickoff as GHS is right there to cover it up. That's brought to you by Raising Cane's. Whether you're tailgating the game with a group or watching from home, Raising Cane's is always a good call on game day. Raising Cane's, chicken fingers, one love.
And talk about Raising Cane, listen, this offense for Bellevue is going to raise some cane themselves. They're going to raise hell because we saw what they could do in the first half when you put the ball in the hands of Marquis Davis. Great, fantastic player, right? Had the cramps that kind of tampered them a little bit. But then we saw a couple guys step up. Nolan Hansen, big catch, couple big catches, one big 2-point conversion. So let's see what they can do and have some sustainable offense here for Bellevue.
Bellevue around the left side to get things going. Nice move as Torrey Turner gets to the outside, cuts back in, and very close to first down yardage. And in fact, he does have it. So a nice 11-yard run there to open things up. And Bellevue will get on it in a hurry like they have done for most of this ball game.
And Jeff, you saw this is the first play. The GHS did a really good job on defense in the first half of stringing out those outside runs. All of a sudden, Torrey Turner on the very first play takes for a first down, and maybe this is a change of what they want to do.
They'll fake it to Turner. Carl gets to the outside, but there is a flag on the play after he muscles way to about 8 yards, but looked like a hold there by that Bellevue offensive line.
Kind of like it, right? Because they're starting to be a little bit more aggressive in the run game. You could even see the offensive line, which probably coach jumped all in their butt at halftime. The offensive line's coming off the ball a little bit stronger here, creating some running lanes because they said, hey, listen, guys, Marquis is a great player, but he can't do everything. We can't throw it up to him all night because JHS is literally going to adjust. Coach Asher Pira talked about the fact that, hey, we got to make halftime adjustments. If one of your halftime adjustments wasn't to start to cover number 8 a little closer, then you probably shouldn't be in coaching. So that offensive line to counteract is going to have to open up some holes for Turner as they did on that last play.
So a big play right there on the hold as basically erases a huge game, backs him up 10 as Turner tries to get to the outside, but he won't. Nariah Washington got in there in a hurry, and the junior makes Bellevue lose even more yards.
Yeah, Washington, we've called his name numerous times tonight of making plays off that left edge, and you're going to have to get him under control. He does a great job in pursuit. He does a great job of containment, which is an underrated part of a defensive game, is to contain a running offense or a running quarterback or an outside running offense to prevent them from getting outside. Once in all that space, a running back or quarterback, a lot of things can happen. You got good defensive ends and outside linebackers that can limit that. You make them one-dimensional.
Well, it's second down now and almost 30 As Caro drops deep, he'll try to find his man down the middle, and he's got him. There he is again. Marquis Davis goes up and gets it. Takes a big hit along the way, but that is a huge play for another first down.
You know, he makes it look really easy. Body control, able to go up. Like, it was almost like that wasn't a 50-50 ball. It was more like a 90-10, 90% he's catching that ball. Good hands to go up and try to pull that down, and to do it off of a hit, right? Kind of a big body guy that has a big catch radius. So once again, making big plays, Marquis Davis.
And Zon Ray Rochelle, the senior safety, almost able to get there, but just a little late as they hand the ball off to Turner, and he's got nowhere to run, so no gain there on first down.
And for all intents and purposes, the GHS front seven has done a really nice job of limiting anything on the ground, right? We talk about what Marquis Davis has done in the air and what Bellevue has done in their passing game is because they've been limited to really one dimension. They haven't been able to run the football, and GHS has to just do a better job of slowing down what's been some of the biggest weapon there is Marquis Davis.
Bellevue shifts a bunch of guys, which they have done quite often tonight. And Davis will go out in motion. That's some nice.
The right sideline's open.
Yeah, a lot of room down that right side as Caro takes it, breaks a couple of tackles, and then a shoestring tackle there by Pira, who was able to get out to the outside and maybe prevent a touchdown.
You got to like this, right? And when they shift over to that heavy formation to the left, you think they're running left. They run a kind of a rollout with the quarterback, and then all of a sudden, Caro is just kind of rolling out to the right and just, hey, there's a lot of open room here. Just takes up that, uses his athleticism. Once again, not the fastest guy, but does enough to get himself out of trouble, but also makes a big play with his legs right there to get a big first down.
Dancing around again. That one's tipped, and it's going to be picked off. Zaire Francis came in and got the tip ball as a flag was flying. So we'll have to see what that flag is all about, but really nice defensive play there by GHS.
Yeah, excellent job. There's a lot of pressure off that right side of the offensive line, and looks like they're gonna. Yeah, looks like this is gonna stand.
Yep. Flag is on Bellevue. Of course, that'll be declined, and second interception by Caro tonight as GHS will get the ball back.
Yeah, Caro able to wasn't really his fault there, right? Trying to lose some pressure. Got his arm hit. That ball fluttered in the air. Was just kind of hanging up there for a few seconds. You're going to see here, rolls to his left. You see number 23 just making a beeline and just blasting them. Number 23 there, that's Nehemiah Washington again coming through and just putting on the pressure and forcing what was a big turnover.
Washington back out there on offense, as he will line up in the tight end spot. And the sophomore quarterback, Calvin Comstock, will get to work under center. Hand it off right up the gut, and a good strong run there on first down for Keanis Perry. He's one of the two of this two-headed monster here by GHS as they get the ball for the first time here in the second half. Gardner has gotten a majority of the numbers, but Perry has certainly come in there and gotten a lot of hard yards.
Yeah, and you notice in there what GHS is wanting to do is run the ball on first down, try to open up some options on second down, right? And one thing that Bellevue has been really good about is learning from their mistakes, right? They see one thing, the very next play, if GHS is trying to go back to the well, they do a great job stopping it, especially in the run game. So let's see if GHS does something, keep them off balance a little bit.
Go GHS after a gain of 5 on first down. They'll hand it off and nowhere to run for Samuel Warren Jr.
And that's great coaching right there. You can see they get gashed a little bit on that first down run, and this has happened consistently throughout the night. As GHS is like, hey, we're not going to try to fix it if it's not broke, but Bellevue has done an excellent job on the subsequent downs of when they get hit for a 6 or 7 yard gain of sending a blitz up the middle or preventing that run to hit them in the face again. So that's an excellent coaching job and good job of reading what the offense is giving you.
Loss of 4 on the play, so that makes it 3rd and 9. Comstock under center again. He'll hand it off. And not much running room this time for Keanis Perry. So Gardner not in on that first possession. And GHS is going to be forced to punt as Tyon Johnson will run out there for the third time tonight. And back deep, the dangerous Davis, who's already got a couple of scores tonight. Last snap was high. Johnson had to go up and get it. Still got it off. Much better snap here. And Johnson with a nice kick, but not as nice of a bounce. That'll settle down right around the 40-yard line of Bellevue as we go to break. So each team has had a possession here to start off the second half. Neither team able to put any points on the board. We'll see what happens when the Rattlers get it back here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, Bellevue about to get the ball back, but before the game, we were fed extremely fantastic. So take a moment to thank the fine folks at Sonny's Barbecue for feeding our Friday Night Rivals crew. Sonny's, they are barbecue, as Shannon very well knows.
Some good barbecue tonight. Boy, I was hungry, and boy, they did it right. Thank you for, probably came from Waldo, right up the road.
The original, the OG.
The OG, a stone's throw, or Jeff Cardozo pitching wedge. Shot right up the road.
No gain, actually maybe a loss of a yard by Bellevue there on first down. Yeah, that's probably my two favorite sides, too. You had the baked beans and the mac and cheese. I feel like I'm back like being a middle schooler, but I mean, I still love the originals.
I do too. Yeah, the baked beans was always one of the things that people don't know is like when I was in high school, we would eat Friday night or Thursday nights. We would eat at Sonny's all you can eat before Friday night games, and boy, we would do that all you can eat chicken with barbecue with baked beans and mac and cheese. It was always legendary.
Can't beat the combo as Bellevue tries to beat GHS there on the outside, but an errant throw there by Caro is going to make it 3rd and long. So I think both teams, Shannon, have done a nice job of making adjustments. We saw a lot of back and forth, scoring all over the place, with things settling down here now in the third quarter.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's, we talked about what each team had to do, but defensively, I think they both have been good. It was the big plays that hurt them both, each team respectively. And I think we don't see the big plays. We see the defenses stepping it up. And, of course, this early in the season, Jeff, you always know the offense is going to lag behind the defense just a little bit. But these are two pretty good defenses that are making pretty good plays here tonight.
Well, we got a whole bunch of flags as right before the snap happened, Marquis Davis fell down and then got back up. I don't know if he was trying to get down because he was cramping or what, but he jumped up and now he's got to limp off the field.
Yeah, that and Nolan Harris it looked kind of like arena football when the receiver's running towards the line. He kind of made a beeline. He was motion. He made a kind of a motion towards the line, and then all of a sudden he was there was a couple flags all over.
So that's going to make it even more. And Bellevue will be forced to punt.
I mean, it's great stopping. We're going to see kind of a defensive battle. I kind of expected to see those adjustments that Coach Osh Peerer was talking about at halftime. Not only was the Gainesville Purple Hurricane making them.
Well, snap was fumbled, so GHS able to get in there and block it. That thing's going to be picked up, and all the way to the house goes Samuel Warren Jr. for the score. So a couple of non-offensive touchdowns here tonight, but there is a flag on the play.
Man, oh man. It's going to be bad if this was an illegal block and this is going to have to come back. It looks like the ball will remain with the Purple Hurricane, but it looked like something unnecessary behind the play happened.
Yeah, you see that a lot, Shannon. Guys are just scrambling and trying to prevent somebody from getting to their guy and just push in the back. Something you're not supposed to do.
The weird thing, Jeff, is that they did a study, and 70% of all big plays, and those are plays over like 40 yards, they happen. If a penalty happens on them, 70% of those plays, it did not need to happen. It happened on the opposite side of the field. It didn't affect the play. And that's unfortunate because that's exactly what happened right there. If you're GHS, you go up 2 scores, but all of a sudden it looked like a block in the back or a illegal block right there. And then all of a sudden you're moving back. And with your offense, which has struggled a little bit here in this third quarter, now has to find a way to try to get the ball into the end zone when you had a free 6 points on the board.
And the ball goes all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Now I'm curious what happens here. This is the first time that Bellevue's defense has been challenged here in the second half. All right, can they hold up? They've done a great job of holding up against this Gainesville Purple Hurricane offense here in this third quarter, but let's see if they can continue.
Gardner is back in the ball game. He'll be the tailback just to the left of Calvin Comstock. It was back in the shotgun. We saw Comstock under center a couple of times on the last drive for GHS. He'll take the shotgun snap, hand it off to the tailback. Gardner weaving his way through, breaking tackles just like he's done most of this game. Finally gets brought down, but after about a 12-yard gain there on first down, as we send things back down to Randy with another injury update.
Yeah, guys, a couple things. First of all, I'm a little late getting back to the mic. I had to tell the officials to stop the clock. It kept running during the penalty when it was being assessed, so we fixed that. The injury situation is this. Tyon Johnson just got his left ankle retaped. He's good to go. Also, Rayshawn Dean for Gainesville, right ankle retape. He's good to go. And maybe Shannon can allude to the situation with Marquez Davis. Once you cramp up, you're more prone to cramp up later in the game too, right?
Yeah, that's 100% right, Randy. Once it happens, and this is why they talk about before the game, if anybody's played a sport, they always have trainers walking around giving you water. It's because to try to prevent what possibly could happen, and then will recurringly happen. I remember I cramped up one time, long time ago, and then it just continued to happen throughout the game. It wasn't just because, it's because your body is still trying to find ways to take that hydration, and once it happens, it's hard to get it back in, bring it back down.
Comstock with a nice run up the middle. This time he'll hand it off to Gardner with another strong run right up the gut. That injury update brought to you by Tucker Chiropractic, the best in quality care. This is a nice drive here by GHS. They're just keeping the ball on the ground and using their strength, which has been that offensive line today.
Yeah, they're leaning on the big uglies now, which is, Bellevue's probably doing all they can, right? They're trying to close on those run lanes. They're trying to hit some gas, but, when you got a bunch of boulders in front of you, you got to try to find a crack in one of them. And GHS offensive line is doing a good job blocking on angles. And of course, their workhorse and their stud, Javarius Gardner is doing a good job of hitting those holes and making the most out of them.
We've got a timeout on the field, and Shannon, it looked like there too. We had talked quite a bit about Trayson Richardson, and it looked like he was lined up out at left tackle for those last couple of plays. So as we take a timeout on the field, we'll do it up here in the booth as well. Jeff, Shannon, and Randy back with more right after this. Well, the trusty watch says still about 88 degrees here in Gainesville, and it's 9 o'clock. So we certainly could use some AC. And always a big shout out to Bounds Heating and Air. Experience the highest quality of comfort at Bounds Heating and Air. CHS offense heating up.
They are. Yes, they are heating up. They've done a great job on this drive of really keeping it on the ground, and done a great job of keeping it on the ground and really asserting that dominance that they had in the first half of this game. And here's going to be their Achilles heels. First and goal here. Can they finish this drive off? Something that they haven't done here in the first half, or that they didn't do in the first half.
Tried to hit Jaquan Wooden there. That play worked successfully earlier. That pass a little bit behind, and now Xavier Ballesteros cramping up as well. And every year we do these games, Shannon, you start to see this first couple. You see at this point of the game a lot of guys starting to suffer from those cramps, and we've certainly highlighted it. And for those who've never had to deal with it, it's not fun. I mean, you're just you can't move. You feel lost. It obviously gives you a lot of pain, and you just have to work your way through it.
It's debilitating. I don't know if there's any other way to say that, because of like when you start having spasms in your leg, it's not just like, oh, your legs are jumping around. They are painful. It's just, your muscle at that point trying to be able to have some hydration, some moisture, trying to find something to release that, to get that blood flow back going. You've seen so many athletes throughout time that have tried different tricks, right? You hear pickle juice, and there's always the electrolytes, and there's also salt, and all sorts of remedies to try to do this. And the one thing I could say to any athlete out there that's watching this telecast, or just trying to take some advice, is to try to drink water, a gallon of water the night before, because your hydration starts the night before, day before, because you go throughout a week of practice, you're still losing a lot of water. You're losing a lot of that hydration. A lot of times to be hydrated, you have to start days in advance. If you're waiting till the day of and thinking, hey, a Gatorade's going to get me through the game, you're going to lose that in the first half of warm-ups.
Yeah, all the times you practice, you can't replicate being out there for a whole bunch of snaps.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, in many cases, with these teams playing on both sides of the field. All right, they'll hand it off to Gardner again. A couple of nice moves before running into the middle linebacker. But, man, that guy is shifty.
Yeah, you gotta love Gardner. He's he's the East Side transfer from last year. Had over 1,100 yards rushing, and he was a big part of what made East Side roll last year. Transfers in here to GHS, and you see what made him special there. Was an all-county player. Was one of those guys that just he's going to be special. And ladies and gentlemen, he's only a junior. There'll be a lot of people clamoring his name in the college ranks after this year. So he's a guy that's just continuing to get better, and we're seeing him on full display here tonight.
Well, now 3rd and goal for GHS, only up 4 points here in the ball game. Touchdown taken off the board because of an illegal block. Gardner trying to get outside, cuts his way back in, and then a nice tackle again by Bellevue as Mike Cowart, the sophomore, able to get in there and prevent the score. So GHS going to have to go for it now, 4th and a big couple of yards in this ball game.
On my DMX right now, here we go again. And listen, here we go again. This is can Bellevue come up with a big goal line stand? Kind of maybe expect to see a rollout here, a run pass option from GHS. Try to run the ball on 4th down. Last time on the goal line, wasn't very successful. See if they'll try here.
Gardner is out of the ball game. The quarterback sneak.
He didn't get it.
And yeah, they will not get in. So an interesting call, trying to get a couple of yards. And it's going to be a stop. So Bellevue holds again. It's the 2nd time tonight we have seen GHS get to either the 1 or the 2 yard line and not be able to get in the end zone.
Yeah, Kira's call right there, running a goal line sneak. It was maybe 4th and 2. It was a long one, and decided to run a quarterback sneak. I get it. You got some big uglies up front, some guys that can push the pile, but we've seen Bellevue stand up and really get dirty and dig in deep as they've done on their 2nd goal line stand.
Well, the last time that Bellevue got that goal line stop, they immediately gave it away. A pick 6 by GHS on the other side. So we'll see if the GHS defense can at least try to keep some field position here and not allow Bellevue to get a first down.
That was a huge stop. This is a one possession football game. This isn't like GHS is up and Jeff. This goes back and beckons the fact that that big touchdown was taken off the board on the punt block.
Yeah.
Was a big deal. It was a huge deal at this point in time, especially if Bellevue takes us down here and scores.
Well, some procedure there. Not much room to back up Bellevue, though, as they'll move it maybe a yard.
And this is, as you said, they have to be very, very careful with the snap. They have to be very, very careful in executions, especially a fumble snap or, a ball getting batted in the air for a pick, or there's not much room for error for that Bellevue offense. So they got to do something here that's going to be able to push them out of the shadows of out of their goalpost.
Well, some confusion here. Changing the formation.
Man, this is
play clock down to 10.
A lot of guys going back and forth here.
Well, you got one-on-one coverage with Davis down here on the left side of the formation, but they'll hand it off. And GHS's front right there.
I feel like you got Davis down here running the hitch play or just running them on a streak. Just give him the opportunity on a go ball here, because he's made the point of he's the best athlete on the field. Let's call it what it is. If GHS is going to be very content of just leaving him one-on-one coverage, and you know what, you just run that risk.
Yeah, there's nobody other than the corner that's up on him. Well, we got another flag on the play. And another penalty on Bellevue. But not much room to back them up.
No, I mean, you're going to keep backing them up, and they're going to be fine. I mean, they're going to be on the half-inch line. I mean, it still remains the same. The goal remains the same, is that you still have some guys out here.
So despite 2 penalties, it's still just 2nd and 11. After a couple of half the distances back, Caro's going to get it. He's going to look out to the side. They will challenge. A little duck out that way, and it's thrown off the field. So not a good pass by Caro that time. And nice job defensively by Tyon Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson using the sideline as his friend, right? Kind of keeping everything in front of him. Chucked it up out there. Got to keep it in bounds. Got to give him the option. Got to give him a chance to catch that football.
So that'll make it 3rd down. Caro's got 4 receivers to work with. He's got some pressure. Can he get out of it? And he just barely gets it off. Nice job by GHS as they sent the house in there to try to get that safety, and Caro just able to get that thing away. And that's going to force a punt here.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the toughest position that Bellevue is going to be in all night, right? You're punting from your inch line. You're probably not going for this. And I could be wrong.
No way.
I could be 100% wrong.
I will bet you all the gummy bears in my bag.
Hopefully I'm not going to have a sugar overload here, Jeff. Maybe a pooch punt. Okay.
And they're just
snapping out the end zone.
Snap it out of the end zone. So that'll be a safety. And a wise decision there. That makes it a 6-point game, so still a 1-score ball game. Nothing really hurt there. And then that way you don't allow a block to happen, which you've already seen GHS get that, or really good field position.
Yeah, that's good coaching right there. Take the 2, still make it a 1-score game.
Well, we're 1 quarter away from tonight's player of the game. We'll be selecting the IBEW local 1205 player of the game. It's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, local 1205, powering a brighter future. And it's really going to come down to, I think, a couple of guys. We've seen 0 on Gainesville's side, 8 on Bellevue's side do some really good things tonight. And now it's just really who's going to make that big play to pull this game off.
That's what's going to happen in there in this fourth quarter. It's going to be one of those two guys. And we've seen, some guys do their thing tonight. We can talk about, Jaquan Wooden and his big catch for that touchdown. You can even talk about Nolan Hanson, who's had some big plays himself. He had the 2-point conversion, big catch down the middle. But it's been the story of Javaris Gardner and Marquis Davis. Those have been the guys that have made this game fun to watch here tonight. So the fourth quarter's coming. We've seen Davis have those leg cramps. Can Jarvis Gardner, who's maybe looks a little bit fresher, make a big play here, maybe on the kickoff or in the running game to really push them past the point of no return and to put a lot of pressure on that Bellevue offense.
So Nolan Hanson will do the duties. And Hanson kicks it away from 0, but Jaquan Wooden, number 1, picks it up, and he's got some tough yards out to the 40-yard line where GHS will try to make this a 2-score ball game. At one point, GHS led 12-0. Well, just a 20-14 ball game. Both of these teams with just 2 wins a year ago want to get their seasons off to a nice start here in 2016.
Yeah, great football game here tonight. There's make no mistake about it. We've seen some plays from both teams on both sides of the ball that have been some fantastic plays, some game-winning plays. But it really does come down to the fourth quarter and which team has that sustainability, which team that can really push through to make the plays when it's really necessary.
Minute and 18 seconds left here in the third quarter as Gardner gets it again. Going left side, and he just moved his feet, working hard to get another 4 yards after contact.
That's a tough running back. And while I love his shiftiness, I love his toughness. His toughness is hey, I'm not a guy that's, 6'1", 210 pounds. I'm a guy that's, he's smaller than that. Let's just put it that way. He's a guy that's not that big, but he's one of the toughest guys on the field. We saw it last year at Eastside, and he brought that same mentality here to the Gainesville Purple Hurricane.
Trips to the right, but they'll hand it off to Gardner again, running right behind those big guys, and he's got enough for another first down.
I love watching him run the football, and it really is one of those guys. His shiftiness, his explosiveness. Somebody at that next level, somebody in those college ranks could use a guy like this because he will make teams better.
About 1 second difference from the play clock to the game clock, so GHS will have to run another play here. Trips receivers to the right. Just the second time tonight they have been in this formation. Gardner trying to go left, and he's going to be brought down by 4 different white jerseys, and that's going to do it for quarter number 3. So a bunch of 4s go up in the air here in the opener of high school football tonight here in North Central Florida. Jeff, Shannon, and Randy with you on IBEW, a local 1205 Friday Night Rivals. A good one. Come back for quarter number 4. Well, back at it here as we start quarter number 4. GHS leading Bellevue 20-14. Quickly return to action and another run up the middle by GHS. That's going to get them inside the Call-A-Mattress red zone. Call-A-Mattress deals so hot they built a fire station across the street. Jeff Cardozo, Shannon Snell here with you. Happy you have joined us tonight. Always exciting to get high school football going here in North Central Florida. This guy's been going all night. Gardner, and he breaks to the outside again, and he's got enough room for another first down.
And there's that patience you talk about, that inside outside, and it wasn't there. All right, offensive line, there wasn't a lot of holes right there. Able to bounce it outside and get a big first down, and those are the kinds of runs that you love to see. Those are the kind of runs that aren't the 45, 46-yard touchdown runs or the big sprints that come with with points attached. Those are the ones that keep the chains moving, keep the offense on the field, and give your team the opportunity to win a football game.
So another UF Health Ortho Care first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week at UF Health Ortho Care.
Now, if you're Bellevue, you have to stand up now, right? You can't even allow a field goal because it puts it to a 2-score game territory. You got to slow down this run.
It's Keanis Perry as a flag flies in there, and that's what you don't need if you're GHS. You're moving the ball nicely, and we've seen a couple of times tonight where that 10-yard holding penalty has really stopped momentum on the offense.
Yeah, it stopped momentum, and it's taken points off the board as we saw in that last drive, Jeff. It's slowed that momentum, which, Bellevue thrives on, right? They put them into a position now to where, hey, we got to come up with this stop. And if you're GHS and if you're Coach Osh Pira, you have a responsibility now to put points on the board. You have to put this game out of reach because the longer you let Bellevue hang around, the more likely they are, or there's a high probability that they take it down for a final drive or a game-winning drive, which you don't want at this point in the football game.
Yeah, you go from being inside the 10-yard line to now at the 22. First down play. Back to pass, and that ball's going to be picked. And guess who, Shannon?
Get out of here. Not him again.
Marquis Davis has been all over the field tonight, but there is a flag on the play. Could that be roughing the passer?
No, that's a holding call. You saw it coming back, and you saw a jersey tug. There's no doubt about that one. This is Bellevue's ball. Now, this begs the question. You're going to see here, there's the holding number 60. Got his jersey right there. Oh, yeah, that's 100%. But then you see Davis falls right at the 1-yard line. Now, wow, great interception. You stop points on the board, which was a goal. Yeah, that was the goal, but we've seen Bellevue down here 3 separate times near their 1-yard line, and it has not turned out well, right? 1 pick 6. The next one being having to take a safety on the opposite end on their last drive. Their offense needs to get out of here. They need help. The defense has done a fantastic job tonight of slowing down the Purple Hurricane. Like, there was big plays, and Gainesville was going to have their day. They were going to have points in the time where they were going to make plays. But this defense for Bellevue, they've done their part tonight. They need their offense to step up.
Bellevue will run in Draven Breda, who's got a big contingency of fans here tonight. A bunch of 55 jerseys down below us here in the stands. As Bellevue doesn't get much there on first down. So, again, GHS will try to pin them down.
Yeah, they got to get creative here. They got to do something. Find a route to get number 8 open. Davis, try to get him up the sideline. Try to get him down in the middle of the field with some open field. Put him on a slant route, something. Because the running game out of the end zone has been non-existent. They know you're going to try to run. And that's not a comforting fact because a safety at this point in time puts this into a full 1-score game, meaning like you need a touchdown and 2-point conversion. They need some first downs here just to even flip field.
Torrey Turner in the backfield with Caro. He'll take the shotgun snap, look out to the right, and a nice broken tackle to get out of the corner of the end zone there. Xavier Ballesteros with some positive yardage, but still leaves about 3 or 4 to try to get this first down.
Hey, listen, Jeff, that's what you needed. That screen pass had worked for them down there when we were closer to in the first or second quarter. We were closer to midfield, but that was a good play to get them out of that goal line. Now they can relax a little bit and try to figure out a play that won't be a lost yardage play that they can get a first down with here.
Ballesteros cramping, so he's got to come off the field. And now 4 wide on a big third down play here for both sides. Caro quickly will get it out to that man.
There it is.
There he goes.
There it goes.
Big first down by, once again, Marquis Davis.
Man, here's a simple fact. You gotta feed that man as much as he's willing to allow. As long as he doesn't cramp up, he is clearly like one of the top playmakers on the field. There's no doubt about it. You get it into his hands on a quick screen. You've seen it a couple times tonight. Guess what? There's 2 people there to tackle him. He splits those. Good block on the outside there. But he splits those and almost takes up a little bit more room. He breaks that tackle and gets up that left sideline.
We do have an injured Bellevue player back down inside the 5-yard line. But for the first time tonight, Bellevue able to get away from right on the edge of the end zone.
Yeah, this is the game-defining drive for both teams, right? Can GHS's offense, which has done a fantastic job all night of really slowing down anything that Bellevue has wanted to do on offense, especially in the running game. But then you see number 8 right there. You see Marquis Davis. This is one of the best performances that we've seen in the last couple of years because it's almost been like a one-man wrecking crew. And it's like, hey, they know he's getting the ball, but there's nothing they can do about it. So, if you're GHS, want to see if you can slow down Davis. Make somebody else beat you. Make somebody else put the ball in their hands and decide the fate of this football game.
Yeah, it reminds me of a couple of years ago when all we talked about was Justin Williams.
Yeah, man.
Buchholz just taking over games.
Gosh, it's just like I'm watching this kid. I'm getting a lot of similarities. But Justin Williams is a fantastic football player. Anybody had the pleasure of watching him at Buchholz? Good gracious. I mean, that kid can get it done. But you're watching full, live, and living color a guy that's really making a big case here.
Terrell rolling out to his right. He's got his man underneath. Nice move and some good yards there. Another first down for Torrey Turner, and that's the UF Health Ortho Care first down where walk-ins are welcome 7 days a week. And now we're getting GHS players starting to cramp up. That's Jaquan Wooden. He'll try to get stretched out by a teammate.
Yeah, this is tough weather, and everybody's cramping up. I'm telling you, Jeff and I were sitting up in the box, and we're like, man, it's hot out here. Could you imagine having on like 20 pounds more with pads and helmet and cleats and running around in not in 100% humidity? And folks, it's like 87, 88 degrees out here tonight. So it's tough for these guys to stay hydrated, especially when they're playing a tightly contested football game like this.
Well, we just mentioned UF Health, and they do a phenomenal job with supplying athletic trainers to all the high schools here in the area. You got a whole bunch in Gainesville, some down in Ocala as well. And it's just such a rewarding experience to be able to have athletic trainers be around all the athletes, make sure that they're taken care of, and they're obviously associated with the Florida Gators as well. So you've got the same great Gator docs that are taking care of the UF athletes. They're the ones overseeing these athletic trainers, and just really nice to be in this area with what they're doing. Caro trying to roll to his left, and he's going to get run down after a gain of maybe 1.
It feels like Bellevue would do a great job of going a hard count. You haven't seen one in a while, but you saw GHS defenders just jumping the count, basically trying to jump the snap there. Almost got caught off sides right there. Number 24 for GHS, that was Tristan Ford, just kind of jumping that gun really quick and almost got caught in the neutral zone.
Yeah, we saw a couple of penalties early. GHS trying to get overly aggressive.
But this is the point of a football game where you could maybe take a shot. Maybe, hey, send Marquis Davis downfield on after a hard count, get an open shot, a free shot downfield, and never know what happens.
Second and 10. They'll quickly get it out, and breaking a tackle is Elijah Nemec. So he turned what would have been negative yardage into a gain of about 4.
And that's been their best play tonight. That screen pass where you have wide receiver blockers in the front, they've motioned out to it. They've ran a couple different variations of it. It's a great play because you got good playmakers on that edge, and GHS, their defensive backfield is having a little bit of a tough time getting some one-on-one tackles against these wideouts.
Antonio Sellers will run in. Nose tackle for GHS as Trayvon Richardson gets a breather. He's done a great job playing both ways tonight. Big third down play here for Caro. He'll roll to his left, looking downfield, and that's going to be overthrown and could have been intercepted. Looked like a couple of GHS defenders right there might have had some miscommunication, as Zon Ray Rochelle is not happy he wasn't able to pick that thing off.
Yeah, that would have been a huge pick, and you see what the plan is. You see they got some double coverage. They're playing two-man, a little two-man over right there. You see the cornerback underneath and the safety over top trying to cover Marquis Davis, which is the plan. And almost that ball comes down a little bit. He has an opportunity at that catch.
Well, so a big decision now. Under 7 minutes to go in this one. Bellevue on their own side of the field. And a big fourth down play coming, fourth and about 7 yards, and Bellevue wants to talk it over as they call timeout.
Yeah, this is a huge play. Probably a lot of time determines who wins this game.
So we'll take a break, come back, and see what decision has been made. A tight one here tonight. Gainesville leads it 20-14. Well, Bellevue's going to go for it here. Big part of this ball game. Fourth and about 7 yards on their own side of the field. We'll see what Bellevue has come up with. Going to have that heavy side to the left as Caro will take the shotgun snap. They'll hand it off. A little trickery here. They've got their playmaker in there. Davis trying to get loose. He does, and we'll see where he's pushed out. That's going to be really, really close. It looked like he had to get to the 50, so we'll see where this spot is and whether or not it's going to extend the drive.
Yeah, this was super close, and you don't it looks like he's going to be a little short. That ball looks like it's short of the 50.
Yeah, where that spot is.
It looks like he's about a chain link short. Yeah, it's Gainesville ball.
It will be a turnover on downs, so mere inches here, and we're going to get some arguing from the Bellevue side here, but going to be a turnover on downs, and that is certainly a big one. Speaking of big, of course, we have gotten a lot of great feedback from our sideline guy, Randy Reinhardt, tonight, so let's jump down there and learn some more from Randy.
Guys, first of all, Coach Hartwell is upset because the ball got moved back about a yard. He thought it was across the 50. That's why he came out running on the field. They respotted the ball, and obviously it's now short of the first down. Asher Pira, the head coach of Gainesville, 48 years of age, lived in Chicago, born and raised there till the age of 26, then took a job in sports outside the Windy City in Florida, in Gainesville, at the University of Florida as a coach for the men's lacrosse club team. That was his first head coaching job. He's come a long way in the last 22 years. Guys?
Flag on the play, so that one will be brought back. And, yeah, worked with the football program for a good amount of years and I mean, he was really in charge of, overseeing all the officials and kind of running the University of Florida football program at times.
Yeah, I've dealt with Osh in my business ventures quite a few times, and just a great guy that just had it all together. I mean, he was very good at delegation, very good about having things buckled up and dotting his I's and crossing his T's. And, let me tell you something. GHS got a gem. He's sometimes the hottest free agent on the market. They're lucky to get Coach Osh Pira to come to the school and really revamp this program.
Yeah, a guy that gets it and certainly understands how to make kids better men, and that is the most important part. Another really strong run as some more laundry gets down on the field. Looks like we've got another cramp as Josh McClellan is trying to show off his prom moves.
Yeah, Samuel Warren Jr. really making moves all around this football field, and a fantastic run.
And that penalty is going to go against Bellevue, so a hard run there, not only a first down, but it's going to cross midfield and then give Gainesville High School some more. And we are about halfway through this fourth quarter.
Yeah, you got to, and this is what's happened. We've seen GHS have the ability through penalty, through the run game, even through the air some, have the ability to move the football. But the score has been 20-14 for a while. It has, and then both defenses have came out and stood tall. I think if you're GHS, you have to show that you have the ability to punch the ball into the end zone. And not just for now. This is going to be for moving forward throughout the season, because you will see another Bellevue-type defense where they will play you well, and they'll hit you in the mouth. And you'll have to be able to score football points to win a game, because your defense will then be challenged.
Only score of the second half has been a safety by GHS. They'll hand it off to Gardner again, and he's got some room to run. Across that left side, gets a nice block from a receiver, and then all the way to the corner of the end zone. Javaris Gardner in once again, but once again, some laundry down on the field.
It's the second time, and this one might have been a little bit more likely to have to be a hold. You saw Javaris Gardner cut that all the way back across screen. A lot of times as an offensive lineman, when you're blocking on his own play and the ball's cut back, offensive linemen don't know that ball's being cut back, especially if it's a severe cutback. If that ball's veering from the 1 or 2 hole and going all the way back to the 6 hole the opposite direction, they're going to hold some jersey. Ref always catches when that jersey pulls away from the body, they're going to call holding.
That's now the second touchdown by GHS has been taken away because of a penalty.
And they've all hurt. I mean, they've hurt really bad. I mean, the one that they were down for the punt block was to put them up by 2 full scores. This one was to pull them up by 2 full scores. So, your GHS, you don't like to see that happen. And you see that hole right there. I don't think that necessarily needed to happen.
No.
It didn't need to happen. I think Gardner breaks that through and takes it up the sideline for a touchdown without it going on. So, got to keep those hands inside that framework and let go before that ball gets out that way.
Perry back in the backfield now, as Gardner will get a breather. They'll hand it to him, and he's trying to get around the outside. Positive yardage he does, and a nice strong run to almost get back to the original 9 of scrimmage.
And this back is the fact, Jeff, that this late in the football game, this Bellevue defense, which has done well, they're taking a lot of punishment, right? The game goes on, and, they start to wear down a little bit. Are you seeing the same run blitzes or the guys hitting the same holes as they did in the first quarter? No, you don't. Just because, you're at this point of the game where it's more like a chess match. You're tired. You're trying to push through. So they got to come up with one more stop here in this fourth quarter.
Gardner back in there at tailback. Comstock, the sophomore, had a nice, efficient ball game. They'll give it to Gardner again. And he's got 5 more. Nice hit, though, on the outside there by Bellevue. 1-on-1 and clean tackle there to stop a pretty good running back.
Yeah, Landon Kemp coming up and landing some wood there, and that was good. It was a good play by him coming up and taking on a guy 1-on-1. We talked about how great Gardner has been and how tough he is tackling 1-on-1. Limited him to only 5 yards there and pushing it to a really 3rd and long.
So 3rd down here for GHS, under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Gardner remains in the ball game. GHS trying to pass. That one is good, and a slip right at the first down yardage. The line to gain, but looks like it should be good enough. So a nice play there by Calvin Comstock, rolling to his left, throwing across his body.
It looks like it's
they'll call it just short.
This is big. This is huge right here. This is the stop that they're looking for. The GHS has not been able to convert a fourth down on Bellevue tonight.
Comstock will keep it. Quarterback sneak.
Now.
He's got it. And then some. Oh, a huge first down right there as the clock continues to wind. About 4 minutes left in this ball game.
That's a huge first down. And you get to the point of does GHS need to score, right? You can start to run this clock down and, conceivably can have, 2 more first downs here and maybe run this clock out. So if you're Bellevue, you may need to start thinking about, hey, the stops now. You only got 1 timeout left. Didn't save them. So you got 1 timeout left, meaning that, hey, these next 3 downs are the downs that you need to stop GHS.
GHS will try to eat up as much of that clock as they can. They'll snap it with 8 on the clock. And Gardner's going to get beat up. Nice play inside that time as Ballesteros, who's played both ways and cramped up quite a bit tonight, makes a good tackle.
Yeah, great tackle in the hole, one-on-one, able to kind of ignore the juke factor of what Javarius Gardner has done tonight and made a great tackle getting him on the ground.
Comstock fakes it. They're going to throw, and that one right.
Yeah,
but pass interference going to be called.
That 100% felt like pass interference. He was there early, and that really, there was no question about that.
Caden Smith on the coverage for Bellevue. How about the play call there? Not trying to run the clock out. Thought they had a play where they can get some positive yardage.
I like the guts. I mean, sometimes you have to do something unconventional, meaning that you see 8-9 guys in the box. You see 8-9 guys in the box with one-on-one coverage and those corners playing off, 5, 6, 7 yards. Yeah, you're going to throw a quick little slant, a quick little hitch there. That may be able to get you better yardage than that run that's going to run you up the middle there.
So GHS in the Colomatris red zone. They'll get it going again. Gardner with some moves again, planting his feet, weaving around, and he's got 3 more yards there on first down.
That is some impressive footwork. We talk about that play started on the positive side, left side in the 5-hole, and he jumped, cut once, back to the 2, back to the opposite side. He keeps his feet. He might be in the end zone, and that's a lot of running backs can't do that. A lot of running backs don't have that type of body control, and that's a rare trait, a rare skill that Javarius Gardner has.
GHS can run this down for snapping it to about 2 minutes on the play clock.
So you think about a stop here if you're Bellevue and then call your timeout, right? That feels like the right thing to do. The stop obviously coming first.
Second down. They do get the stop as Gardner only able to get a yard or so.
And maybe they save it for fourth down, right? Second and so you run another.
Well, and the big question, Shannon, we have not seen GHS attempt an extra point.
No,
so
we have not.
Trying to kick a game-winning field goal here may be difficult.
Well, we did see them attempt the extra point on the very first score of the game, and it was really
bad.
Off. Yeah, it was really bad. So, the extra point or field goal here to try to make it a 2-score game is just as challenging for GHS here at this point in the game.
Minute 30 left in the game. 8 on the play clock. They'll get it off. Gardner trying to get to the outside. Sheds 1 tackler, but can't get rid of the rest of them. He'll stay in bounds to keep that clock moving. And now Bellevue will use the timeout.
Yeah, fantastic job of awareness of him staying in bounds. But even better by Bellevue of really making this happen and keeping it, pushing it to fourth down.
1 minute, 10 seconds left, and a decision to be made now by GHS and first-year head coach Ash Pira. We'll take a break and see how this thing wraps up when we come back on Friday Night Rivals. Well, GHS going to keep the offense out on the field. Minute 17 on the clock, and a 4th down play here for the offense.
This is the right move. There's no other move that you should be making. Risk a blocked field goal, something weird happening. You know, leave it on your offense. Either you make it or you leave Bellevue in a position to where they're going to have to go the entire length of the field in 117 to score it to win the football game.
Perry is the tailback. They'll fake it to him and nowhere to go.
Beautiful move.
Great stop by Torrey Turner, who's done a lot of things offensively tonight, and he's going to give the Rattlers a chance to go down and try to win this ball game.
This is kind of what you wanted. This is what you want to see, even if you're tuning in on My 11 to Friday Night Rivals and you're watching this. Hey, this is the end of the football you want to see. A great contested football game, offensively, big explosive plays in the first half on special teams. It's been a defensive struggle here in the second half, but it's been great defense. We've seen Bellevue, which has came up big numerous times on defense in the second half. Now you need the offense to score. They need to go down here, put 6 points on the board, and one way that they can ride it down there is to try to get the ball in the hands of Marquis Davis. Try to throw some big shots, keep your offense moving. There's no timeout, stay efficient.
84 yards in a minute and 11 seconds, and already a flag on the play as things get going, and that is a nice completion and a big gain ahead. We'll see, though, what that flag is going to be. Elijah Nemec.
Yeah, that might be coming back.
And it looks like some motion. So legal motion there on Bellevue is going to negate a big positive play there on first down.
Yeah, we've seen just some penalties here tonight that have really affected both football teams. And, you know, you'll see penalties early in the season as teams get stuff worked out. But, you know, these penalties are coming at points of the football game where both teams, it's affected scoring opportunities. It's taking points off the board. And if you're Bellevue, those you can't have any more, especially on a game-winning drive.
That was a really nice play, too.
It was.
A pick play down the field. So Bellevue back at it. Some pressure this time as Caro has to try to avoid it, throws it down the middle of the field, and guess who? Again.
Come on, man.
A big play by Marquis Davis.
Get out of here with that. That's creative player kind of crap going on here with him. This is insane. Just throw it up. He's down there somewhere.
So that gets Bellevue out of the hole, and the clock running with 50 seconds now left in the ball game. Earl back to pass again, trying to direct his teammates to get down the field, and tries to find his outlet, and he overshoots Elijah Nemec.
Yeah, Nemec right there, kind of making some stuff happen, trying to get out there and make a play, but Trayvon Richardson right on his heels. And, you know, Trayvon Richardson has played a heck of a game. He's played both sides of the ball, but he's been really important in that run game of stopping a lot of those plays coming up the middle for that Bellevue offense. But he's played well on offense at that center position. He's moved across the line, so not often you can call out an offensive defensive lineman for making a bunch of plays, but he's done a great job tonight.
That took about 10 seconds off the clock. The guy you need to watch out for is going to go wide to the left. Marquis Davis, he has had a heck of a ball game, and now GHS will call a timeout.
And this is good. This is good if you're Bellevue. It's giving you the chance to regroup. No timeouts on the board. But it's also giving Davis the chance to kind of recover. Yeah, Marquis Davis is kind of catching his breath, getting some water in the system. You know, from DHS, I don't want to give him any extra opportunities to catch his breath.
Well, Randy, as we look at the score, Bellevue has got 14, GHS 20, but that 14 a pretty familiar number from the last time these two teams met.
Exactly, Jeff, because back on September the 21st, 2006, the final score was Gainesville 15, Bellevue 14. So it's been 20 years, but I think it's worth the renewal of this rivalry, don't you think?
Yeah, certainly so, Randy, and still 55 yards to go in 40 seconds if Bellevue is going to not have history repeat itself. They'll have 4 receivers. Again, the guy to watch for is Davis. He'll line up. the top of your screen.
I mean, yeah, you're plugging a route, or you do something on some sort of a route combo to try to get him open or give him a one-on-one opportunity.
Carroll look up that way, tries to see him. He's now running open, but pressure is going to not allow that to happen, and a flag's going to come in on the play.
Yeah, it looks like he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that football, too.
And I think, again, you're talking about a young quarterback. Both of these guys are sophomores, so they're still learning. But he had the opportunity. It's almost like at this point, what number 8 can do.
Sure.
You just kind of run around and let him blow past somebody. And as that play developed, you could see Davis get open down the field.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. He just kind of turned on another gear at the last second, and it's funny that we say it, but you throw it down, he's down there somewhere. He's going to give you the opportunity as long as you give him a catchable ball. He's going to give you an opportunity you got to give him an opportunity to make a big play, and he'll give you an opportunity to move the football.
32 seconds now left in the ball game. We are almost 3 hours old here on opening night, but it's been a heck of a ball game between these two ball clubs. Carroll back again. GHS coming with the pressure. He'll step into it, try to heave it down the field, and that's going to be caught.
Oh, my God, he caught and his pass
with the flag. Wow. GHS trying to say it's offensive pass interference. Caden Smith, the senior, comes up with the football, and we'll see who the flag is on.
That looked like it was defensive pass interference. I didn't get a lot of offense out of that.
So that was down there. 2 guys.
Wow.
And Caden Smith comes away with it.
Well, Jeff, now this gives them some legit shots at, like, you got guys all over the field. This is some legit shots now to be able to try to win this football game.
Inside the 20 with 20 seconds to go. And there you see Smith going up with 2 GHS guys right there on him.
Good gosh.
So one final time in the Call-A-Mattress red zone. Call-A-Mattress deals so hot they built a fire station across the street.
Like, what would you throw it? Just a fade ball out there to Marquis Davis? I feel like that's the right move to make.
Carl looking out that way. Davis running a slant. They're going to try to hit him, and
he caught it. He caught a ball.
And that's going to be a touchdown.
You got to be kidding me.
What a stab for Davis. And Bellevue goes the length of the field, under a minute, and has now tied this ball game at 20 apiece.
Jeff, I got freaking goosebumps, dude. I don't know if I've seen a better performance. We've been calling Friday Night Rivals for years now, you and I together, and I don't know if I've seen the Justin Williams and with the guys that we talk about, I don't know if I've seen a better performance.
So now a chance to win the ball game here. Caro running around as they try to go for 2, gets it off, it's going to be picked. So this ball game, as the clock has hit 0, is tied. Wow.
Well, I don't even know what to say.
Well, this game has been so good. We're going to get to see some more of it.
Good gracious.
So the first time that we have been doing Friday Night Rivals, we will have overtime. And we'll tell you how it turns out when we come back.
Man.
Well, 7 seconds has been put back on the clock, so not overtime just yet. As Bellevue will have to kick it off, you would assume. They're not going to kick it to anybody that can do damage to GHS.
I would hope not.
It's a little squibber, and it will not go 10 yards, so that'll be a flag.
Wow.
Well, Randy's always in the middle of everything down there, so why did we get so much time put back on the clock?
Well, the touchdown was scored with 7.5 seconds left to go. The clock does not run on an extra point. They ran the clock on the extra point. Ergo, it went down to 0 when it shouldn't have. It should have stayed at 7.5 seconds. That's why we still had time for the kickoff. And more.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense, but good gracious, Jeff. I mean, I feel like I would have just went for the extra point. And you get it blocked, and you can't advance it in high school. So I feel like the extra point was important right there. Just one time, Little Giants, one time, just right through the uprights.
Yeah, you've had Nolan Hansen kick the ball off and get it up in the air, but
yeah,
maybe not enough trust. So the interesting part now, GHS is going to have one final shot because that ball went out of bounds. You got a Hail Mary coming.
Yeah, you do, and it's only a listen. He could throw the ball 43 yards in the end zone, and so that's the part that worries you about having that little squib kick that just kind of went out of bounds, and yeah, nobody returns it. But after everything we've seen here tonight, it's possible. I feel like it's in the conversation of possibility that GHS could go in and maybe pull one off.
GHS with only 2 receivers. Quick little hitch pass and a lot of yards right there inside the 30. And with 2 seconds left, Ash Pira is going to call a timeout.
Is he bringing the field goal unit on?
And yeah, they're going to bring in.
They're going to try it.
Tyon Johnson.
And let's be careful here. All right, that ball has a very low trajectory the longer it is. We've seen that throughout time. Let's not let one of Bellevue's defenders get their hands on it. They may pick that ball up and run it back. So there's a couple of different options or a couple of different ways that you approach this. Do you throw the Hail Mary down there? Do you let your guy kick it?
This should be about a 45-yarder.
Yeah. And if he's running them out there, you have to feel like Coach Pira has seen his kicker make a field goal from this distance. And maybe he's talking to him now. It's like, hey, guys, if you hear a block, you all better get back and take off running. Yeah, they're going for it. They're going to try to kick this.
So Comstock will be the holder. Tyon Johnson with a 45-yard attempt to try to win this ball game. Right in the middle of the field. Flags. And that ball didn't get up at all.
Yeah, it was a false start. So that probably takes the work out of it for Coach Ash Pira. And maybe he does have to throw. Now, here's the thing is that ball was blocked, right? You have Marquis Davis standing back there to catch anything blocked or anything short. Do you run the risk of letting the ball being put in his hands?
That's going to make it a 50-yarder.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hefty kick right here. This is, under any circumstances, whether this be college or pro, this is a good-sized field goal.
Another timeout to talk it over. Well, there's a lot of tired dudes down there on Citizens Field tonight. And unless a 50-yarder is made, we're going to get some free football. So they actually will now choose not to kick it. Tyon Johnson is off the field. Comstock back out there at quarterback. So a heave to try to win it. So here we go. Comstock takes the snap. He'll get it down the field. Caught, but not enough. And that is going to expire the clock inside the 10-yard line.
Wow.
So overtime.
What a game. What a game. I mean, there was only 2 scoring plays in this second half, Jeff.
Yes, so let's see how those happen. Our Fair and Fair scoring summary, sponsored by Fair and Fair, Gainesville's injury attorneys, proud supporters of our local student athletes. It was 18-14 at the half. Bellevue pinned inside their basically 1-yard line, and they just snap it through the end zone on purpose,
right,
as to not punt it away for the safety. And then Shannon,
here's
how about this catch?
Look at the, oh my gosh, just there's 3 people there. There's one underneath, 2, one over top, one covering on his hip. That's, you know, first of all, give credit to the throw. He put it in the spot to where Curro put it in the spot to where only his guy could catch it. And sure enough, we thought that Marquis Davis couldn't do any more tonight, and he did. He came through when they needed him the most. And once again, it's been like a legendary performance. And a lot of times people are like, you're caught in the moment. It's a legendary performance of what I've witnessed on a college, on a high school football field.
Well, a heck of a way to start off the 2026 high school season. Gainesville, Bellevue, tied at 20 apiece as the clock strikes 10 o'clock here at Citizens Field. So now we'll have a coin toss. Randy making his way out there, be a part of things, and we're going to get some alternating possessions here to see who wins this ball game.
Yeah, so this starts off on the 10-yard line as Florida High School Athletic Association rules. They'll start off on the 10-yard line, and each team has a chance or chances to get it into the end zone, right? And they'll alternate back and forth until whatever team wins.
And actually thinking back, I thought this was the first overtime, but remember Williston.
You remember Williston and
Chieflin.
Well, also Hawthorne. You remember a couple years back, they were down in Hawthorne in the sneak of Newberry and Hawthorne, and Newberry should have won that football game.
Yep.
But the sneak into the end zone, Hawthorne stopped it to remain undefeated. They've been few and far between, and every one of those games, Jeff, hasn't been a sleeper. It's been a barn burner. And here tonight, you didn't think that, you know, even towards the end of the game that that Bellevue had the opportunity, that they had the chance to pull this thing off, especially going as far as they had. Had to go 70 yards, 84 yards for a touchdown. And they started hitting some big passes. We talked about there was a huge pass, a couple of huge passes to Marquis Davis. There was another one to somebody else down here on this right sideline, and just they were able to pull that in. So, you know.
Well, here's Randy with our Radiant Credit Union coin toss. We'll see the overtime rules.
We'll start after the first overtime. We'll play the second one. Who didn't have the toss will have a choice of what he wants to do, offense or defense first. All right? Yes, sir. All right? We start on the 10-yard line, and that'll be it. Bellevue, the visiting team, I'm going to flip it and catch it. If I drop it, we'll do it again. What is your call?
Tails.
What did you call? Tails is his call. It's ahead. You go offense or defense?
want defense first.
You want defense. Yes, which end of the field do you want to pick?
Go from this way.
You want to play on that end of the field?
Well, it looks like GHS has
you
won
want
the
to play on
toss.
that end of the field. All right? You're going to be getting the ball.
So GHS will go on defense first, as both teams will get a crack at it from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is going to be huge, and this is, you know, we talked about this tonight, right? About how great both defenses played. We didn't get to see the best of that Bellevue offense inside the 10-yard line, but we did get a real big sample size of GHS of what they were able to do, and they were not able to punch the ball in. Can they do it now? Is it a possibility that GHS starts to finish this drive, especially here, or does Bellevue hold up and stop them again?
And we have not seen a ball go through the uprights tonight, so you would assume if a score is made, then you still got another defensive stop trying to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, both kickers have been kind of off the field. They haven't been kicking them. They haven't been kicking field goals or extra points. So, it's just about which team executes best inside their 4, 5, 6 plays, just depending on what happens.
Well, Marquis Davis has been the marquee player of the game tonight for Bellevue.
Yeah, he is. I mean, just, it's just been fun to watch him. It really has been. He's been just well advertised here this evening.
He'll switch sides now, and he'll line up bottom part of your screen, wide to the right. 4 receivers here for Bellevue. Shotgun snap. Caro looking. He's got his tailback, and he is in the end zone. Nice play.
Yeah, great play call.
Torrey Turner gets in on the first play here in overtime.
That's a beautiful play call. Roll to the right and just basically throw like a screen pass back to the left, and he had nothing but open air and opportunity and was able to kind of cut in and out and get into the end zone. Very nice play call.
Well, that's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown. An important one for sure. And now Bellevue will try to get 2 more. Four receivers again. Turner once again in the backfield. Caro gets it, hands it off to Turner. Got some blocking. Can he get to the corner? Yes, he can. So just like that, 2 plays, 8 points on the scoreboard, and GHS has some work to do.
Man, you got to give a hand to what they just called, what this Bellevue coaching staff called on offense. They put Turner, who has been kind of the second fiddle to what Marquis Davis has been tonight. He's got fresh legs per se, and he was able to get in the end zone on a nice pass, nice throw and catch, and also get around that left edge on that quick sweep to get into the end zone for a 2-point conversion.
So Bellevue gets in thanks to 5'10", 170-pound Torrey Turner, and that lane is pretty familiar with some guy playing at the next level, isn't it, Randy?
Indeed it is. His cousin Kosi Turner plays at the University of Pitt as a star running back, so I don't think he could be any prouder than he was in that moment right there. But now it's a chance for Gainesville to answer, and they need to go all the way. 10 yards plus 2 more to tie this again.
Trips receivers to the left. They'll hand it off to Gardner, though. Flag on the play and no room to run, as Bellevue's D-line is all over that one. And we'll see what the penalty is. Been a lot of those tonight that have really hurt Gainesville. And there's going to be a hold, so that's going to make it a lot harder.
Wow. Yeah, and that's what we talked about tonight with GHS is those penalties now more than ever are hurting you, right? You had the opportunity a couple times in this football game while in regulation to take it up 2 scores and probably close out the game. But penalties come back and bite you in the butt. And if you're Coach Osh Pira, I guarantee you his film session or film study on Sunday night, Monday morning, Tuesday morning will include all the various penalties that they've seen here tonight.
So now they need 20 yards. Comstock rolls to the left. He'll fire it down into the end zone, and that's going to be up and...
Did he catch that?
Incomplete. On the back line. Wow, that went in and out of the hands, actually, of Davis, who could have caught that. and sealed the game.
I mean, it felt like he almost had one foot in and caught that football. It wouldn't have been surprising to see another crazy play like that happen, but you're going to see here. Oh, yeah, he's on the back line.
Yep.
Man, wow. I mean, if he could somehow find a way to freeze, he's standing in there. The football is just standing right there in his hands.
So second down as GHS must score. And for the first time all night, we start to hear this Bellevue crowd below us. Another shot to the corner of the end zone, and that time it's caught. Is he inbounds? No,
he's not.
What a catch, though.
Wow. Man, you got to give it up to each one.
Anthony Jenkins pulls it in.
Gracious.
Just out of bounds.
Watch this. I mean, able to go up and bring it down and just, his arms hit first and somehow finding a way to get 1 foot in there, just drag it. Some swag right there. Been,
good ball there by Comstock. So now just 2 chances for GHS. And just 2 receivers out there. They'll fake the handoff again. Comstock running around. He's going to chuck it, and that's going to be a pass interference.
Yeah.
So trying to hit Jaquan Wooden again, which they've thrown that route 3 or 4 times tonight. That is a big, big penalty that keeps things alive for GHS.
Yeah, you needed that if you were GHS. Give you a new set of downs. Half the distance to the goal. So it gives you a new lease on life, if you will.
So the pass interference will bring it back to the 10-yard line, and we'll basically start over. It was a holding penalty that put GHS back to the 20. And now we're going to get a timeout by Bellevue. Yeah, Shannon, you think about the way this game has gone, and Gardner had the touchdown run down here to our left on that last drive for GHS, and holding penalty brought it back, and they unable to get into the end zone to win the game.
Yeah, that. And then, just earlier, I guess a drive or 2 earlier, right, they had the block punt, and they were actually third quarter, they had the block punt that they took in for the touchdown, got called back. They didn't get points on that drive, right? Ultimately, they were able to force a safety, but that really brought it back to the fact that they allowed Bellevue to go down and put up that last drive for a touchdown. So there was a lot of things that played in the Bellevue's court that what GHS did, mistakes, penalties, all that good stuff. But, Jeff, I don't think either one of us can deny that this has been a fantastic football game, a really well-contested football game.
Well, in a crazy game that Bellevue never led.
No, ever.
Until right now.
Until right now. Their very first lead was in overtime. You couldn't tell me that, hey, Bellevue will never lead this game, yet they'll be up 8 in overtime. I wouldn't have believed you. It wouldn't have been something that I would have put on my bingo card because it would have never hit it.
Comstock ready. Some pressure. He rolls out to his left. He's got a lot of room to run. He's going to try to keep it himself. Puts his shoulder down, and he is in the end zone.
Give it to him.
What a job by the sophomore quarterback.
Man, that's some guts right there. He said, I'm not running out of bounds. He put that shoulder down and said, I'm getting in, and sure enough, he did. What a game. I mean, this has been fun to watch. Both teams have players making plays when they need to make them, and sure enough, Calvin Comstock comes up with one of his biggest here tonight. You'll see here, rolling left, he sees nothing but open air and opportunity, and he sees that goal line. He's like, forget this, put that shoulder down, and I'm getting in.
So now GHS has to convert the 2 to extend this ball game. Do they have another big play in them? Both teams will talk it over. Well, we've seen the impact that number 8, Marquis Davis, has made for Bellevue. Same for Javaris Gardner. Does he come back into the ball game? Do you give him the ball, the chance to try to run it in, or do you think Bellevue's going to keep an eye out for him?
I think Bellevue keeps an eye out for him, and they've done, every time on these goal line stands, what we've seen here earlier in this game, or even subsequent plays leading up into the actual, fourth down plays, that Gardner hadn't been able to get in. They've sent a lot of stuff at him, and we can say the same thing for any of the running backs that they've had in the backfield. They haven't been able to kind of crack that line of scrimmage, haven't been able to crack into the end zone. We saw number 25, Keanu Perry, try to take one in for a touchdown. Wasn't able to get there. So that Bellevue defense has been really, really good when it got really close to the goal line. So do you give it to Comstock, who just took one in for the touchdown? Do you let him have a run-pass option here?
Yeah, Gardner is not out there. Josh McClellan will be in the backfield. 2 receivers to the right. Comstock's got it. He'll roll to the right. Has some pressure. There's a touchdown, but there's also a flag.
Yeah, there might be some holding there. Yeah, that's coming back.
Immediately saw the flag there, and I think you just knew it.
And that was the right.
Watching that play develop.
Offensively, that was the right move. It was a run-pass option. Do you give it to Comstock? Comstock had the option. They decided not to run the football, and sure enough, it just happened to be a hold. Bellevue did a great job of containing. You're going to see here on this play, bang, that outside linebacker right there. You see the hold on his shoulders. That's the hold on number 52 right there, Alex Barentine, who had a great game off that edge, able to hold the edge contained and push that ball back upfield, causing the hold.
So now they'll have to convert from the 13-yard line. Comstock has it, running up the gut. He'll get it to his tailback, and he's not going to get in. Perry is stopped at the 1-yard line, and Bellevue calls ball game.
Wow, what a game. What a game.
A game of inches.
It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. It happens. You can't ask for a better finish even if you're GHS. You can't ask for a better way. You got the ball into a playmaker's hands, able to try to get up that right sideline, and just wasn't able to get it done. What a game.
28-26. The Rattlers come into Citizens Field and beat GHS in Osh Pira's opener.
Unbelievable job, both teams, but you got to give Bellevue all the credit in the world. They were down, Jeff. You said it best. They hadn't led 1 minute in this football game here tonight. Not one. And then all of a sudden, you come back in the fourth quarter, you put together an insane drive, and then you lead it down into overtime.
So you see both teams shaking hands there. Always tough to see somebody lose a game like this. But I think you look at it from the other side, and we heard Coach Pira, and whether or not they won or lost, I think he's trying to build a program here. And I think certainly GHS showed out tonight. And they're a much different team, program. Everything that they went through, they played really, really hard, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Yeah, let's be real, Jeff. I mean, the GHS of old would not have been in this game. They would have. This Bellevue team is a good team. The GHS of old would have not been in this game. We would have been headed home in our cars and be like, hey, we're thinking about next week. Instead, we're sitting here and we're looking at a game that was just well contested, back and forth. When we do Friday Night Rivals, this is what you look forward to. It's going to be very, very tough throughout the next 9 games for this game to be topped. You know that just as much as I do. It's going to be a trip.
Certainly so. All right. Well, we have got a pretty obvious choice for our player of the game. Marquis Davis was dynamic tonight.
Yeah, dynamic is probably putting it as mildly as possible. You see everything he did. That's his first touchdown. That doesn't really matter. But then this big catch right here, to really take it to overtime was unbelievable. You knew he was getting the ball. There was no question that he was making things happen. Jeff, he also had an interception, which he did it all tonight, right? 3 touchdowns, a return for a touchdown.
And here's the final play.
And that was him, and he smokes him out of bounds. Like, this is, like, I don't know if any guy, like, you go into a creative player, that's exactly what happens, and that's the player that you have.
Well, we had fun up here tonight, but I know Randy's going to have a lot more fun down there. A very happy Bellevue football team, so let's send it down there to him. Randy?
Well, you said you had a lot of multi-dimensional players, and that's a nice thing to say, and boy, you proved it here tonight. And the thing is, you like to crescendo during a season. You expect a game like this in Week 10, but not in Week 1. Coach, just your thoughts about your team's performance tonight.
We told them all week it was going to be a dogfight, and it was, and they battled all day. I'm proud of them.
What was the difference in this contest for you?
We just didn't quit, never gave up. They fought to the end.
The only thing that quit tonight was your voice, right?
Yeah.
That's about it. This guy never quit, cramping and everything else. Dr. Davis, talk about this game here tonight. I know what you did in the scrimmage, and that was a big game against Zephyr Christian Hills, but how big is this contest tonight for you?
Today, it was a big fight. Like Coach said, it was a dog fight. And what are you willing to do?
What are you willing to do?
Anything it takes.
They did that here tonight. Coach, what do you draw from this to take into week number 2?
1-0 this week, go 1-0 next week. That's the goal.
You got 6 days to recuperate with that voice, but you're going to lose part of it again, too, because, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the IBEW Local 1205 and Radiant Credit Union, these are the Friday Night Rivals champions!
Always a fun sight.
So well deserved. I mean, this is a game. This was a game of games. This is one that I just enjoyed calling, Jeff. Just fantastic job by the Bellevue Rattlers. Good job, man. You definitely deserve this one.
And a heck of a ball game there by Marquis Davis.
Yeah.
I think he has proved that he is one of the best in this area. And you better game plan for number 8.
You better figure it out quick, or he's going to do exactly what he did the last 2 teams he played.
A pick, a stop, a couple of touchdown catches. He was all over the place tonight. So all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, and of course Radiant Credit Union, who through their contributions to the program made these games possible for the viewers at home. We'd like to also thank our other great sponsors and supporters for their contributions. Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, Pavlov Media, UF Health Orthopedics, Bounds Heating and Air, Raising Cane's, Call a Mattress, Tucker Chiropractic, Farrah & Farrah Gainesville Personal Injury Attorney, and of course the guys that got us through tonight, Sonny's Barbecue, and of course all of the participating schools, administrators for their support. Bellevue the victors tonight, but our host, Gainesville High School, fantastic as well, and it should be a fun year for both of these teams. Well, Shannon, you can't ask for a better opener. Look forward to next week. What a way to get the season going.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one next week. If this is a start to what our season looks like, we're in for a ride, Jeff.
So congrats to Bellevue, winners tonight in overtime on Friday Night Rivals. For Randy Reinhart, our reporter down on the field, my partner, Shannon Snell, I am Jeff Cardozo. Have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Thank you to our valued sponsor partners who make this telecast of Friday Night Rivals possible. IBEW Local Union 1205, Radiant Credit Union, and Parks Motor Group. Also, thank you to our great sponsor supporters for their contributions. Pavlov Media, Sonny's Barbecue, Bounds Heating and Air, UF Health OrthoCare, Raising Cane's, Tucker Chiropractic, Call a Mattress Superstore, and Farrah & Farrah Gainesville Injury Attorneys. And a special thanks to tonight's participating high schools for their continued support.